you doing? Happy Thursday. Malik here. Welcome to the Blizzard Arena. And guys, we got another exciting day of Overwatch League action in store for you today. Infinite possibilities on the way. Both of our Stage 2 finalists are going to be competing later on today in their own separate matches. But we're starting off today with a matchup between the London Spitfire and the LA Gladiators, the hometown LA Gladiators. As you can tell by the crowd behind me and them getting rowdy and hyped. Now, the last time these two teams faced off, it was the LA Gladiators that came out with a 3-1 victory due to the play of Fisher, the star main tank. Now, he was actually playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he used to be a part of the London Spitfire and was riding the bench pretty much the entire time he was on the team. So that was some sweet revenge for him. And Jester, the tank for the London Spitfire, was kind of salty about that. So going into this matchup, these two teams, these two tank players in particular, definitely need to step their game up. So, Blizzard Arena and everybody at home, get ready. Today is the battle of the tanks.
Put your hands together for the London Spitfire. Their opponents, the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Yeah, very special game for Fisher as he used to be working alongside the guys from the London Spitfire. Now he's on the other side.
제가 생각하기에 저의 이제 피셔 선수보다 나은 점이라면 저는 어떤 조합을 함에 있어서 이제 플레이 스타일을 좀 유동적으로 조금 더 잘 바꿀 수 있다고 생각을 하고.
Boom! Zumba is gone, deleted immediately. That's big, and Jaehyung eventually goes down.
제가 최고인 분야가 있어요. 그러니까 제가 최고인 메인 탱커 쪽에서 제가 돌진은 제일 잘 뛴다고 생각해요. 어떤 윈디겐트를 쓰는 윈스턴보다 제가 더 빠르게 뛸 수 있고 제가 더 확실하게 킬각을 잘 노린다고 생각할 수 있는데.
Oh no, he's gone! He's got another jump. He gets knocked back, barraged in. This is a bit ballsy. Fisher takes him down. Nobody doesn't like Fisher.
이제 우리가 글래디에이터즈전에서 좀 방심 아닌 방심을 해서 좀 무기력하게 지게 됐었는데 이번에는 좀 더 열심히 생각을 해가지고 좀 더 경기 재밌게 할 수 있도록 하고.
If there's anyone who knows Jester's weaknesses, it is Fisher and vice versa.
재밌게 해봅시다. 우리 이게 재밌는 경기.
Former teammates, now opponents. You got Fisher versus Jester, the battle of the main tanks here as we see the Gladiators face off against the Spitfire once again. Welcome back, everybody. It's Bucket here at the desk. We got Reinforced, we got Crumbs, and let's jump into this, Johnny. Back in the old day, it was no aim, no brain, Winston Main.
I can deeply relate with that, yes.
What is it today? How important is that main tank role, and what's the toughest part of this job for these two?
Well, I mean, Fisher, he said he has a better aim, right, as a Winston, so that matters a lot. But overall, he said that Gesture has more versatility, he can play it more aggressive, he can play it defensive. And looking at the numbers, we can see that Fisher has more damage done, and usually he is the one who is the more aggressive tank. Meanwhile, Gesture plays a bit more back with his team and with his supports. So I think it's too interesting, because we have two tanks that are very different in terms of play style, and we'll see how they manage to do that thing.
We saw versatility, kind of a key topic coming in. We know today we're going to see 4 maps, as always. We got Volskaya, we got Blizzard World, Ilios, and Route 66. How much versatility does Gesture really have potential to show in this series?
Well, it's more about the playstyle that he can do here, right? It's a matter of being able to react to what the Gladiators are going to be doing. So if the Gladiators are going to be consistently diving after the London Spitfire supports, then Jester can just dial it back and play more of a peeling role. Whereas if the Gladiators somehow decide to change their style, play more about Sureforce, Widowmaker, then he'll have to switch things up and go forward and be very aggressive, pressuring the Widowmaker. So it's a matter of what the maps offer us and how they react accordingly.
It doesn't really suit Fisher's aggressive playstyle, though. And as you said, we've seen more of Sureforce Widowmaker. So overall, they don't really mesh that well together, I'd say, Fisher and Sureforce with the Widowmaker. But it has worked out for them. Meanwhile, we have Gesture, of course, they have played aggressive, and they have played the Widowmaker on Hureg. So I'm a bit more... I'm relying more here on Gesture than Fisher necessarily, I think.
I'm looking forward to this battle, right? The main tanks are going to be so crucial to either team's victory. And with Gladiators sitting on 3 losses and London with 4, this is a crazy battle to see who has the potential to squeak into the Stage 3 playoffs. Remember, there's just 2 weeks left to play, 4 matches remaining for each team, and only the top 4 will be competing next Sunday.
It really is a matter of the losses here. Because you played 10 games at the stage, the Gladiators' best record is a 7-3, and with the top 4 teams at a maximum of 2 losses, they have a pretty decent shot. Whereas London, unfortunately, 4 losses already puts them really deep in the hole. Best they can do is 6-4, and that means that the only way they're making it in is if the top teams really drop the ball on this week and the next.
If you were on OverwatchLeague.com, you probably read the article that said London's chances less than 3%. But I feel like the Spitfire, they can prove everybody wrong. Can they get a 4-0 today? It's unlikely, but they definitely will be looking for it. When we look at Gladiators, though, this is a team that has been looking great at times. They've been struggling at times. But if you watched last week, they had an insane series against the Valiant. What did you see from this squad?
Well, we've seen a lot of different styles from this squad, as we talk about so many times on the desk. It's Sureforce Widowmaker that stands out, but also Hydration's Genji, right? And then we see Selected on the Sombra. So overall, we can see that the Gladiators are utilizing all of their DPS players. Looking at the stage 3, the first week, it was all about Selected, transferred from LA Valiant, but later on, it's been Sureforce. He's the man to go. It's Widowmaker, it's Tracer. Asher, he has some play time in there. He's the Tracer main, you would like to say. But even that, we have Sureforce and the Tracer as well. So they like to mix and match, and you can't necessarily prepare for the Gladiators as so. So it doesn't matter if London Spitfire has great versatility, because they'll have to play their own style and not necessarily read into what the Gladiators are playing.
Gladiators have so much flexibility with their current DPS lineup. On the other side of things, you can say the same thing about London, right, Crumbs?
You can, but this is not the same London that we've seen before. Right now, Birdring is not going to be in. It's going to be Hureg that's starting, and unfortunately, Hureg is not the same kind of player that Birdring is. Even though he has a lot of versatility, he doesn't play these heroes at the highest level that we sometimes see Birdring at, and he has been making some uncharacteristic positional errors that cost a lot of these pushes for London Spitfire. Today, with the first maps being Volskaya and Blizzard World, I think that Sureforce's Widowmaker will come in big in denying Hureg and London's chance.
Let's get the official predictions, and I want to start here with Reinforce. Are you guys ready? Make some noise, Blizzard Arena. We are moments away here. Johnny, who do you go with today? Are you going Gladiators, or are you siding with London?
Well, I agree with Crumbs that Sureforce Widowmaker is definitely the most scary aspect of the Gladiators, and honestly one of the best Widowmakers in the league. But it's a team game, right? It's not just about one player. So with Sideshow gone on the desk, I have to be the voice of reason, and I'm going with the London Spitfire with this one, because Prophet is going to shut down the Gladiators, and then you have Gesture playing so aggressive with a Lucio and Moira. I'm looking forward to it.
Nobody in this audience clapping their Sour Patch Thundersticks today.
I'll clap myself.
I have a feeling,
Good job,
Crumbs,
good job.
Are you going with our London Spitfire as well?
Well, no, I'm not actually going with the London Spitfire. I'm going with the Los Angeles Gladiators. Looking at the map pool, I think it's specific about what heroes are going to be coming out here. And with Blizzard World being 4-0 already for the Gladiators, I'm basically counting that one as a victory. And the first map, Volskaya, I think that Asher and Fisher's Widow, or rather, Winston and Tracer will make a big difference.
It's a long series.
Well as Widowmakers for sure. So at least 2-0 start for Gladiators. I think Gladiators have this one, or at least have the advantage.
I feel like at least 7 people behind me agree with Crumbs. Be loud, Blizzard Arena. We need you today, because we're getting it started right now. Are you guys ready to walk our first team? Make some noise for your hometown squad. It's your Los Angeles Gladiators. Asher joking with the squad, told Bishu earlier today, you gotta cut the ponytail, man, it's not good enough.
And that's the thing, right? Asher is a guy that goes so unnoticed in this team, and that he's actually one of the jokers in the team. He's always cheering, he's cheerful. You don't expect this out of the guy. And his play is also one of the best Tracers in the league. We just don't talk about it enough because it's overshadowed by the rest of the team.
Yes, it is overshadowed by Sureforce, I'd like to say. So with Volskaya coming up, that means we're going to see the Widowmaker from Sureforce. But it makes it interesting to see what we're going to see on point B. Not necessarily a great Widowmaker point. I'd say we're looking out for some Soldier 76 or some McCree gameplay to shut down the dives coming
By
up.
the way, that was sick technique from Fisher. I'm sure you can relate to that when you get your hand warmers and you put them in your headset, keep those ear warms. If you got big Dumbo flappers like me, it's clutch.
Lane, nobody needed to see that. Drink your water, don't spill it on yourself. Thanks, buddy. A bonus one. Appreciate you, Short4. Now we've got the Big Goose on the loose once again. One of my favorite supports to watch here in Stage 3, always getting aggressive.
Well, the duo overall, right? We've got Chaz as well, both from Finland, and they've been playing together for a long time. One of the best support duos in the league, honestly, because they're so consistent and always shines.
Here's a look at the starting 6. We talked about Fissure. Keep your eyes on their main tank today, because he is going up against some serious competition. Please welcome Gesture and the London Spitfire. Spitfire 17-9 overall. They've fallen out of the top 2 if you look at the league standings, but they are seriously always a threat here on the main stage. In stage 3 though, they've slipped up multiple times, just 2-4 currently. The worst record we've seen out of them in any stage.
Absolutely, and it is much due to Hurek perhaps not necessarily living up to Birdring's name, but still they have names like Prophet and Gesture, and now Fury is back instead of Hurek in the lineup. So this London Spitfire is so scary to see these guys play, and I'm looking out for Hurek to not necessarily be the best DPS player on the team, but to be a supportive DPS player and do his job, and then you can make Prophet shine.
Well, we talk about Hurek having to fill the shoes of Birdring. Does this put more pressure on Prophet to perform today?
I actually think not only does it put more pressure on Prophet, but it puts more pressure on everybody else. Hurek was just filling in for what Birdring was doing, so he has to come in and fit into a system that London has already created, which means that the rest of the team has to make sure that Hurek shines. It's not just his responsibility. They're gonna have to adapt and work around a guy that's not necessarily making highlight reels every time he steps on.
To be fair, most of these players have played together before the London Spitfire was GC was on. It may have been a different system, but still they have some team chemistry going on. So Hurek is the man to fit into the system. They just have to make it work in terms of individual skill.
Johnny, our first map's Volskaya. Who's running the Sombra, if anybody?
It's not going to be anybody. It's all about the Widowmaker play.
No Sombra, all Widows. I'm ready for some snipers. Let's get right into the match. Our players are ready, so are our casters. Let's send it backstage. We got Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Puckett. I think we are more than ready to get things kicked off today, and we're going to with the Gladiators versus the Spitfire. Should be a pretty awesome match, despite the fact that both of these teams are kind of fighting for survival in terms of making it to the stage playoffs, London especially.
Spitfire has to win every single match, basically, and they have to do it with a good map score, and they have to hope that a lot of the top teams this stage also will lose. So it's going to be really hard for them, very much easier for the Gladiators to just continue on their run if they go 7-3. Probably we'll be seeing them in the stage playoffs, maybe even 6-4, depending on how the rest of the results shake out. It has been very tightly competitive in this stage, the most competitive stage of Overwatch League to date.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen teams get stronger. We've seen teams kind of have slumps that we weren't expecting either. But going into this one, you know, 2 seasons ago, or not 2 seasons ago, 2 stages ago, if you would have told me there was a match where, like, Gladiators were favored versus London Spitfire in, like, a big way, I would have been like, yeah, right. But now, I really feel like Gladiators come into this one with the edge.
I think it depends on how these maps shake out, because after the halftime, when we go to Ilios and we go to Route 66, these maps are going to be heavily in favor of the London Spitfire. But Gladiators, I think, have a very good shot, especially on Blizzard World, but also on Volskaya, because even though Gladiators haven't historically done well on Assault, recently they've been very good. In Stage 3, they've been 5-1 on Assault maps. So it's turned from one of their weaker map types into one of their better ones after the addition of Fissure and the chance to integrate him with the rest of this squad.
You know, despite the fact that, you know, I said 2 seasons ago, it would have been surprising to say Gladiators have the edge in this one. So far in the Overwatch League, if you look at the preseason and the regular season, the Gladiators have beaten London Spitfire both times they've met. So there is precedent for that.
Yeah, and speaking of something that we haven't seen, it's going to be dive on attack here. Surefour flexing over to the Genji. No, okay, back to the Widowmaker.
Yep, faked you out.
Faked me out. I assume they'll play the Tracer Widow here on attack A and switch to McCree Tracer for point B.
So makes the most sense when you've got Asher in there.
Yeah, when you have the Asher Surefour combination, I feel like it is relatively transparent, so we'll see if there's any mix-up in how the Gladiators run their compositions today.
Here they go, sneaking around the side, trying to create a little bit of room for Surefour, who's taking up the high ground, or low ground rather, point on the left side. Asher already finds Badoshan. Wow, what a big pick to begin things for the Gladiators, and they're just kind of camping out on the point right now. Nearly a full tick already, no pressure at all into Surefour.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually going to be able to fight this at all, Doa. They're still waiting around right now. They may come in at the last second, and Gesture will start to make some room.
Yeah, they've got to. I mean, just before that second tick happens, they're going to do that, but they're going to draw the dive in from Gladiators, and again, no pressure onto Surefour here unless Hurek can find an angle, but he's kind of bottled up like that. Surefour's pulled back. There's Gesture going down. Another pick for Asher, finishing the damage off onto that one. And London Spitfire without their Winston, now without their Diva. And this is just going to be point A, getting rolled over by the Gladiators.
Slaughter by the LA Gladiators, turning that pick into so much time on the point, and Spitfire really didn't have much of a chance. Now Gladiators going to be coming in with 2 support ultimates here on B. Badoshan, as a result of getting killed first, only has 40%.
Oh, the stick!
And there is Asher with the big stick onto Gesture.
Gesture removed from the fight immediately here. A stick comes in onto Fissure, but he stays alive. Their Winston is up. Meanwhile, one tick taken already by the Gladiators. Asher guarding the door. Gladiators waiting for a chance to move in, but there's Surefour with the snipe onto Hureg on the side. And already Gladiators looking pretty good on this one. London needs to turn this fight around right now. Fissure with like no health though. He has to back off, get some healing. Self-destruct comes in, Fury down. Meanwhile, Fissure with that Primal Rage, using it to hold the point a bit more. Now Bedoshin's got that Transcendence, and maybe, just maybe, London can start to push the Gladiators back, but they still have really only lost Asher, who got rezzed right away.
And they're still pushing forward. Gesture barely got the Primal Rage in time. Hureg will take out Asher, but there's still 5 members of the Gladiators here, and Gesture is down.
They don't have to be done just yet. I mean, Surefour's still alive, and as long as he's around putting those shots in, you can still keep pressure on this one. They've got it.
There's nobody on the point.
London.
Fury stepped off the point. Prophet didn't take his place, and because they only had a tiny bit of percent to go, a split second is all the Gladiators need, and that is a 5:45 in the time bank for the Gladiators. A crushing attack run.
I don't think the Gladiators were even expecting to finish it that soon. There's that nice stick from Asher, pouring a little bit of damage back in before he gets out. Great start for this guy. We've been seeing a lot of Surefour and Hydration lately, but Asher's still showing us he's got the chops to play a mean Tracer.
He definitely does, and that's just a huge snowball attack. The death up from Bedoshin really triggered everything, and at this level of competition, those kind of positional misplays where you lose a support early can mean the difference between running through the whole map. In fact, the Gladiators, Asher was the only one who died on their entire team. He died twice. 0 deaths for everyone else on the Gladiators roster.
Wow, that is insane. Like you mentioned, 5 minutes and 54 seconds in the time bank for the LA Gladiators. London Spitfire has a mountain to climb if they want to try to get even close to equalizing this one. But you know, that was just one of those situations where the rotations for who's going to stall out the point at the end on the defense just didn't come through. There was a miscommunication or something like that, and they kind of gave that one up for free.
Yeah, you're dealing with such small windows of time that can happen. Because Prophet was definitely looking to step back onto the point. It was just a hair too late.
Sure. Well, we'll see what London can do. Surefour on the defensive Widow this time around. One of the interesting things for him was that when he was on attack, he almost looked a little bit confused, and that there was just no pressure coming from Hureg on the other side, because Hureg had to back off with his team after the pick onto Bedoshin, and Surefour, I was watching him on the map overview, just kind of moving around, being like, okay, I should feel like I'm unsafe, but there's nobody there.
I mean, he also had the infra sight, so he had a huge peeking advantage.
There you go.
As they were closing out that point, and now London Spitfire on the attack, running the Widowmaker Tracer combination that we see so often on point A of Volskaya. Asher hiding on the flank.
It's a great team comp. Generally it works really well. Looks like they're going to send Prophet around to flank on the right side, see if he can get a kill into Surefour over there. Oh, but Surefour finds Hureg. No pressure. Now Bedoshin down as well. They do get Fissure, but that's 2 crucial members lost by London already. Now Asher taken out, so it is an even trade so far, but London still has to back away.
Yeah, Fissure's just going to get resurrected. I mean, they bring Bedoshin back. Fury there to provide a little bit of protection.
I mean, Fury got demeched at the end of that too, and that's just going to take even longer for them to get him back. Now Gesture in a little bit of trouble here. Surefour to chase him into his team. I mean, somebody's got to do something about Surefour.
I mean, Gesture tried, but the rest of his team wasn't back yet. Surefour dropped down, picked up the mega health pack, and now with the Emperor sight, he's going to be nailing those shots. And Surefour has been on fire in stage 3.
No kidding.
Throughout most of the Overwatch League, but he has had a major resurgence on this Widowmaker in the last few weeks.
You know, I mean, a player some people said early on in the history of Overwatch, like, this guy is the best guy outside of Korea, and, you know, for a while there, it didn't seem like that, but stage 3, he is really improved by leaps and bounds.
I mean, he's dominant right now. 8 eliminations, 6 final blows, 0 deaths to this point in the match. And London throwing themselves at this wall right now and not getting anywhere.
Yeah, Prophet in a little bit of trouble here, tries to go in for a pick in the back lines, but finds himself surrounded. He does come in and get a big bomb onto Surefour, and Shaz taken out as well. There goes Bishu, so now a big opportunity for the London Spitfire. Maybe take point A here with the kill onto Asher. Yeah, they should have this one now. So they finally corner the Gladiators and grab the point.
Yeah, but 2 minutes have been already drained off the clock for the Spitfire. They hold on to their Transcendence, but so does Shaz. Shaz was just trying to stand on the point as long as possible, not committing the support ultimate, so they would have it as a counter on point B.
I mean, they're not even going to get to B before they've got less time in the time bank than Gladiators finished with. So already the Gladiators out in the lead here.
Absolutely. So we'll see if they can. I think the best hope for the LA Gladiators right now is just to be conservative with those ults, because if London Spitfire, their job is just to drain them out right now and try for a second push that will be successful.
Well, it's a big dive coming in. They're going to use the Primal Rage, and there's the self-destruct over the top. Prophet saved himself with a well-timed recall, but it did push London back a bit. So that's 3 ultimates, I believe, used by the Gladiators there.
Yeah, they use the Transcendence, but London will be happy with that. Primal Rage not used the most efficiently by Fissure, and now London's going to push in. They want to get this Trance out, and they're going to get it.
Yep, Shaz just diving forward. They're going to use it to make an aggressive move onto London Spitfire. Now they do get closer. Mercy out of the way here, and now Gladiators backing off. They know that's all they need. You kill the Mercy, and that's kind of the end of the push. Asher takes on Prophet in the end, too, and that's a nice little stagger, too.
But at the end of the day, London got most of everything they wanted from that attack. The fact that they jumped in and then Shaz used the Transcendence in front of the point, and it gave them a chance to back off, but Shervork just keeps hitting these shots.
I mean, the other thing to think about, too, is that Big Goose is really close to Valkyrie, so yeah, they used one support ultimate, but they've got another one coming up right now, so.
Well, ideally for London, they would have not been so delayed. Big Goose is only about 60%. Now he will have the Valkyrie for the next fight, so there has been enough time for that and damage for that ultimate to build up.
Yep. Surefour trying to find yet another shot here. Prophet nearly dead. Asher trying to finish him off. They're going to go in deep. There goes Badoshan. They've been picking on him all match so far. Fury demeched, using that self-destruct. They're popping the Primal Rage for Jester as well. It's a stick. Asher can't finish him off. Jester backs away. London, they got a couple kills, but they didn't really advance too much. Shaz, oh, he gets back to spawn just in time. And it's going to be the respawn advantage here from the Gladiators. Jester can't get out. Man, London just kind of falling apart here a little bit.
Well, one of the hallmark features of London Doa has been a stubbornness to switch compositions.
True.
Surefour is winning the Widow battle. There is no pressure on the Gladiators Widowmaker.
He's going back now.
Yeah, this is the time where Prophet needs to be on Genji, Hurek needs to be on Tracer, and they need to make that transition. However, that said, because they didn't make it earlier, now they're sitting with 3.5 minutes on the clock and probably not going to be successful in this initial push unless they can take out Shaz before he can reach the Transcendence. That could change things if they could get Badoshan in there.
The picks are a possibility. I mean, 3.5 minutes is certainly time to build up a Dragon Blade and a Pulse Bomb, so they should get at least 1 fight or 2 fights with those DPS ultimates.
Yeah, Prophet needs to go on a Shaz killing mission.
Yeah. Oh.
And Surefour is already there, holding that angle.
Yeah, I mean, I think they know. When you see that little delay in the push, you're like, all right, they're making the swaps. Got to get ready for that. Surefour backing away. There's a dive into the back lines, but they're going to lose Gesture. Surefour just pops him as he jumps in. Fissure has to get back to some healing. No, he doesn't. He's got the Primal Rage. Transcendence pop now by Badoshan. London Spitfire committing everything to this, it looks like.
Fissure just denied the resurrection.
Oh, no! Whoa, that is 3 for Fissure. A lot of people going for a swim in the icy depths of Volskaya Industries.
I mean, London was trying to reset. They knew as soon as they didn't get the resurrection off in the back line that this was going to be a failed effort. Resurrection interrupted by Fissure. The rest of them, there's really no point in staying alive. Fissure just goalkeeping in the back there, making sure that Jester, who is deep behind the Gladiators' lines, was not going to be coming back into the engagement.
2 minutes now for London Spitfire to try to equalize in terms of points. They're already way behind in terms of time bank. Surefour off the Widowmaker over onto the Sombra now.
And this is the defense we expected to see from the Gladiators, but it's going to work well against the dive. They have to commit in a low range. They're going to be vulnerable to an EMP.
Oh, got eaten. Asher lost his Pulse Bomb there. Fissure dies. Maybe a chance here for London to get something done. They've got the 6v5 for a moment, but they need to get in there. Here comes a Dragon Blade. Prophet needs a big one. Gets Shaz. A lot of damage onto Bishu too. Should be able to get the D-Mech. Yes, he does. It's going to be the self-destruct for Bishu to get back in there, but London Spitfire coming out ahead in this push. They're going to get at least 1 tick, if not more. Now Gladiators, the team scrambling.
And they're trying to get this. Surefour switching to the Reaper right now just to bust the point.
Yep, they're going to try anyway. Asher down, though. They can't keep people on there, and that's a nice Primal Rage from Gesture. It doesn't let Bishu get there in time, and so, in the end, a minute 16 for London in the time bank. They come away with something at least.
It was just too late, Della. London can be so stubborn about switching their comps. So often, if something's working well for London, they can absolutely decimate somebody. But if you keep switching up your comp against them, sometimes they get confused. Or if they don't know how to handle something, they will just try and throw the same comp against you over and over. And Gladiators, they're confident in Surefour's ability to hit those shots. And why shouldn't they be? They're pocketing him. They're using Mercy damage boost on him. They're getting the Orb of Destruction on the members of the London Spitfire. The target selection between him and Shaz has been very good. And that means he's killing tanks because he's doing so much damage on this Widowmaker.
Yeah.
And if you don't get in his face, he's just going to kill you as you come in.
I mean, yeah, nothing's more disheartening than being a Winston being part of a dive against a Widow and just dying.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Gesture multiple times.
Well, Jester didn't have anybody to help him out, right? That's the problem, is that you have to make some sort of adjustment. If you are losing the Widow battle that hard, then you need to make a change. And it just comes at very late, and now a minute 16 is all London have to work with. Gladiators sitting in a very good position.
Yep. I talked to Surefour a little bit before the match today, and it amazes me how calm he is. He's just so chill.
He is a very
right
chill
now.
guy.
I mean, he is, well, he was when I talked to him today, and he was like, yeah, just like to stay chill, stay relaxed. I'm like, well, you look relaxed. And certainly those shots he's hitting are looking pretty relaxed as well.
It's easy to be relaxed when nobody is nobody's trying to stop you from doing what you're doing.
That helps too. Or nobody can stop you from doing what you're doing right now.
We're back on the Widowmaker again. Took him a while to crack this point at first, and now with only 60 seconds left, he's got to win it. And Hureg, he does.
He was ready
Big
that
Goose
time.
is there and going to be rezzed.
Yeah, the res comes in anyway, but a message to Surefour that says, hey man, you're not going to win all these duels. Fissure down. Spitfire with a chance to jump onto this one. They've got 40 seconds to do it. Gladiators playing it conservatively, giving up some time. They lose Asher, though. At some point, they're going to need to go to the point. Bishu goes in there with a U-turn. Oh, but Surefour down again. London Spitfire starting to move this thing.
So Hureg took advantage of the fact that Surefour was in that same window on the first defense that the Gladiators made. He correctly predicted that he would be there again. Ends up with a headshot, and the Mercy distracted. Big Goose resurrecting means that the rest of London jumps onto the front line. Fissure goes down, and they get 30 more seconds.
That's right. So when they get to the point, there's gonna be about 30 seconds remaining for them to try to take B. They've got some ultimates coming up pretty soon. Bishu's gonna have a self-destruct soon as well. Otherwise, not a lot for the London side, or for the Gladiator side rather. London now going in, gotta make something happen. You've got 20 seconds left. Oh, but they lose Gesture for Surefour with a bit of revenge there.
And that was a big play actually by Shaz. Shaz hit a volley onto Closer, so Closer couldn't heal him when he was going in. Closer fell behind. Gesture didn't have the healing, and he gets picked off. Great play by Shaz.
Ton of ultimates for London, though. They got to come in and use it. Infra side popped already. Prophet backing away. There's the self-destruct from Bishu to just buy some time. Fury on the point right now. Bedosian jetting his way in there with that Transcendence, and they're going to wait for it. They've got Prophet. Fury's ultimate's yet to use, but Bedosian down. Surefour finds another pick. Self-destruct used by Fury. Back in the mech again, and now the tanks back on the point. We'll see if they can hold it here. Shaz down, so London's trying their best, but there goes Prophet, there goes Fury's mech. And as the Primal Rage expires for Gesture, you'd think the Gladiators would have the respawns to finish it, and they will. So, in the end, it's going to be point A taken by London, but I don't believe they got a tick on B.
They did not get anything at all. 0% taken. And it's the little things in Overwatch that can make a big difference.
All right.
We're gonna take a look at Closer here. So you can see he's ready to heal. Now watch what happens when he comes up right now. Gonna be trying to get this damage boost onto Hureg, and that's when he gets blasted by the volley. And that means Gesture doesn't have any healing at all. So Gesture wanted to go in, but Closer chunked out, couldn't actually make the transition over to heal his tank because he was too low himself, fell back outside of the factory.
Shaz is definitely no slouch on the Zenyatta. We've been seeing him pull off big plays like that for a long time. He's not a bad tracer either, weirdly enough.
As we've learned.
Yeah, as we've inexplicably found out.
Yes, the occasional DPS player is
tiebreaker last stage. Yep. Well, 5 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock for the Gladiators to take point A and then take just a single tick on B to try to start this series with a 1-0 map lead. It's a lot of time to have to defend if you're the London Spitfire.
Hureg looks like he's going to be playing low ground on the Widowmaker. Not going to take the riskier peek up through the windows on that upper hallway. Oh, maybe he is. See what he's going to be looking for. Looks like he's going to look for a Tracer at first to come around the flank.
Okay.
So Ana is switched off. So looking to see with the scope if they were going to be able to see anything immediately. Not going to find anyone.
It's all about those little advantages. You know, what can you do right out of spawn to give you that edge as you push forward here? Once again, creating room for Surefour to come around on the left side, trying to give him an edge in that Widow duel. Now onto the point, the Gladiators go.
Surefour is playing this really conservatively on the low ground right now.
You might as well, right? Oh, Fissure down, that's a good dive. Or rather, not a good dive, just a good shot from, I'm so conditioned now with the meta.
He dove into 5 people, and they didn't have the actual damage to back it up. Prophet, though, will fall, but Prophet's gonna see if he actually gets a resurrection here.
Fury's getting a little bit low on health here. Now he's gonna finally get a little bit of healing. No, they're actually gonna demech him. He's gonna use that self-destruct, but they've got the Winston shield there to protect people. Now Bishu going aggressive. He's gonna get demeched himself as well. 1 tick taken though by the Gladiators already, and they are starting to kind of grind this one out here. Somehow, some way, they've been able to keep this fight going on the point and slowly but surely push the Gladiators back. But now London is gonna go ahead and take control again.
They are gonna take control. Surefour is gonna die. Headshot from Hureg. And now, 5 members of the London Spitfire back on the point. 2 support ults available and a Primal Rage. So this could be a pretty long delay with the Primal. Lots of ability for them just to keep control and keep a body on the point to prevent more than 1 tick from going up.
Be a pretty huge defense for London to be able to eat up nearly 6 minutes off the clock here. But they've done nearly 2 already.
Starting well, but they still have to push it all the way through.
A Valkyrie from Big Goose. Keeping the healing onto Fissure as they dive in. Fissure, though, takes a big headshot and Prophet finishes him. That was a great shot from Hureg to set that one up. And now the support's in trouble. Oh, Shaz, they just barely missed him, but Big Goose has to drop back down below the truck. Prophet gets the kill onto Asher, and that's going to send the Gladiators back to spawn.
Gesture played that beautifully. He came in and decided to use the Primal Rage not to stall out the point, but to play more aggressively. He forced the Transcendence out of Shaz and then pushed Shaz off the point, so Fissure was alone without healing and was focused down.
Worked well. All right, Hureg pops in for sight. Surefour is going to hold on to his for a little bit longer. So London knows exactly where everybody on the Gladiators is right now.
So delaying tactic here.
Yep. That's what it's all about, you know?
Yeah, has fallen away, but Surefour is going to come in with his own Infrasight now, and this is their big chance to cut off these sight lines and to slow push onto the point.
Yeah, a lot of ults for London, though. No support ultimates for Gladiators. Shaz down already. Prophet going a bit crazy, going after the second support. Now Big Goose trying to escape, but man, he's taking so much damage. Yeah, Prophet gets him too. And London already kind of winning this fight in a hurry, it looks like, unless, yeah, Bedosian going down. Can Surefour turn it around? No, they lose Asher. So, London Spitfire will probably hold this one. Nice kill on to Fissure there in the end with the pulse bomb. So, yeah, they're doing it, man. 2:20 on the clock. And Gladiators starting to look a little bit desperate there.
Yeah, Fissure's gonna come back up though. Both of the supports were dead. Big Goose gonna res Fissure, so this is a huge advantage now. No mercy, no Zenyatta for the London Spitfire. They're still walking back from spawn.
Well, the kills at the very end may just have done it for the Gladiators here. They might try to push it one more time. Prophet down, Surefour with a big pick there. Gladiators trying to hold on to this. Fury goes ahead and uses that self-destruct. That's going to cause him to back off for the moment. Oh, he catches Shaz somehow with that one.
So to get back on this point, Fury contesting it for as long as he can.
I mean, it's just a great delay. Closer comes in, though, and now he's in the house by himself. That's a dangerous spot to be. Shaz gets res, meanwhile, by the Mercy. On the Gladiator side, Big Goose brings him back up again.
Well, they didn't kill Fury, so he actually remexed. That's going to be an important... not anymore, though.
Yeah,
not with the kills.
Yep.
And now is the time London may want that Valkyrie back, because look at what the Gladiators are going to have to finish this map. I mean, both support ultimates, Primal Rage, Infrasight to control the point. And maybe the Transcendence will be up by that time. Gesture will have a Primal of his own, but this is looking dicey for London.
Pretty fantastic defense on A, but yeah, now there's so much momentum for the Gladiators coming in on B. Fissure with that Primal Rage, jumps around to the back. They get the Transcendence out of Bedosian. Just gonna wait that one out. That's what Fissure's doing. He sees where the Mercy is. Can go back in now with his own Transcendence. Asher down though, Hureg finds the shot. All they need is just that one tick, and now Fissure getting aggressive here. Bishu demeched, so maybe you have to wait, but you don't have much time to do so.
Wow, that was a huge aggressive play from London Doa. They probably had no business winning that fight, and yet, because they're going aggressive, again, the trance is forced out of Shaz. He's punted back on the point towards Prophet, and he has to use it in an unideal situation where he's not giving much healing to the rest of his allies. So Jester, being a big difference maker, Hureg will grab Shaz, and he's gonna get resurrected.
Yeah, but that's just another res down and more time taken for the Gladiators. Surefour finds the kill onto Hureg now. They spotted where he was after the kill onto the Zenyatta. Closer gets the res, of course. Both Mercies without their res right now. And it's a battle with the Tracers on the high ground here. Asher finds Gesture as well, doing a bit of damage. That's a stick. Doesn't get the kill. Oh man, he was so close. He was so close. And now Bishu there to finish him off. Good combo from the Gladiators, and they are getting close to winning this one. Self-destruct comes in. Doesn't catch anybody here. London back on the point. And now Fissure, rest of the team, they've got it. They zoned him out enough, and that's going to be a win for the Gladiators.
Without tanks, it was so hard for them to step onto that point, even with just a single tick there. So now the Gladiators take a pretty nice a map of Volskaya. Looked a bit dicey, the hold was good, but they bought themselves so much time bank on their initial push that they grinded out for the 1-0 win.
Yep, needed all the time they ended up taking. Another nice Eaton pulse bomb there by Fury. So when we come back, map number 2, we'll see if London can tie things up. More Overwatch League action coming up right after this.
I'm peeling. Kill monkey main. Kill monkey first. Kill monkey our main. Look up points. They still have beat up. We don't light. Right, look up points. Monkey one. Nice. Tracer. Win this. Kill hook shot on light. We don't nice. Tracer pit. I'm on. Nice. Good job.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
looks like the Spitfire are taking no prisoners here.
And Gladiators just crushing this fight on the point.
And now Prophet can just stretch his legs and lean into the back line.
And Surefour raining death from above.
Let's go, baby.
Right as the bell tolls.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. Guys, the LA Gladiators have taken a 1-0 lead over London Spitfire. Fissure's 4 extra revenge plus rounds. I don't know how you call it. You already beat him since getting,
It's not enough for Fissure, obviously.
No, I don't think it would ever be
the
enough.
punishment must continue. Clearly,
it's revenge time bank for Fissure. We'll say it that way. It's off to a good start anyway. And now we move to Blizzard World, which is a great map for Gladiators. They're currently 4-0 on that map.
Yeah, and let's take a look at some of Surefour's statistics here in Stage 3, because this is him as Widowmaker right now compared to his Stage 2 stats. Really big difference in the Widow versus Widow kill differential and the solo kills that he's managing to pick up. So down in hero damage, but actually finishing off a lot more of these kills and winning a lot of these battles. So Surefour has been a player on the rise. Clearly, historically in Overwatch, even before Overwatch League began, this is a player that was, as you said during the match, hyped up. He was playing in Korea with Cloud9. He was playing in Apex, and he has had a long history of success, but it has taken him a while to warm up here in Owl.
Sure enough. Well, in terms of histories of success, Gladiators have had a short but sweet history of success on Blizzard World, and a large part of that is due to the man on your screen right there. Hydration has been a big factor in getting these guys a win on maps like this.
Yeah, and London has struggled on this map. Meanwhile, there's a lot of different looks that the Gladiators can put out when it comes to team compositions with the Surefour and Hydration combo. Widow Junkrat, Tracer Sombra, Tracer Pharah they've used on this map at times. So it's been a mixed bag. This one is hard to read what exactly they are going to be doing.
What'd you call that combo? Suredration?
Suredration.
I4?
I like Suredration better.
Suredration. The Suredration combo coming at London Spitfire on attack. LA Gladiators looking to make it a 2-0 lead in this series on a map they have yet to lose on. See what they can do.
And meanwhile, London struggling on this map overall. They're going back to Widow Tracer, which means they're probably going to play this all the way on the defense through points A and B.
Hydration on the Sombra, which is what we've come to expect from a lot of teams on this map.
Indeed, and we've got most of the team heading around this way. Meanwhile, Hydration is on the opposite flank.
Yeah, it's trying to be annoying on the left side while his team goes through on the high ground through the Flight to Duskwood. There's a hack on the health pack.
Much better.
Much better.
Gonna be looking for an opportunity here to use the translocator. Will go invisible, starts sprinting in to the members of the London Spitfire.
He tried to put some damage onto Hurek, but got denied here. Meanwhile, Gladiators just trying to take a point where it's going to be London pushing in onto them on the payload, or on the point rather. Shu has to fly. Oh man, Hurek got the kill into Big Goose. Gladiators still getting some time out. They've got 2 ticks already. But London finally making it back there to try to deny it at the very end. Bishu
no, they don't get on it.
What?
They don't get on the point.
That is the second time that has happened in this series.
Oh my, that is a disaster. London needs to get on these points.
Reset the clock.
They have to get on these points. They were trying to push back, and they were playing this composition intelligently. They were playing back, protecting Hurek, making sure they chunk out the supports, and then you push back onto the point, but you have to stand on it.
I stopped looking at the control meter. I'm like, okay, they're gonna hold now. They've gotten the kills. And all that.
Normally, 9 times out of 10, Noah, you are right in that situation, and it certainly should have been someone's job to go ahead and step onto it. But Gladiators sneak the point away.
I mean, they didn't even sneakily sneak it. They just sort of stood there. I don't think there was much sneaking done there. And now Gladiators with a lot of momentum coming on to B here. They've gotten some distance on the payload already. Gesture jumping down. There's an EMP to get the easy kill on the tanks. And now Hydration hacks Fury. So the tanks dealt with here, but now the Transcendence comes in, trying to keep everybody alive. They do keep Fury up for the moment anyway. Still pushing forward.
Hurek's getting bounced around though. Finally, he gets an angle on the bridge of the pylon terrace.
Oh, Gesture vulnerable. Another hack onto him. Another kill. Hydration. A lot of priority on the tanks here from this Sombra, and it is working wonders.
And they're going to get more time on the cart. Late infosight from Hureg was trying to save that to the next fight. Instead, uses it too late to save many of his allies.
Bijou, D-Mech, finds Fury, has beaten up D-Mech too, rather. It's a funny blaster battle, but a little interference from Fissure. It's gonna give Bijou the edge in the Diva v Diva. Now you have to stay safe. You don't want to die when you have like 90% of your mech back.
Oh, they're gonna try and maybe get a dive. Nope, mech already has returned to Bijou.
Yep. Whoa, Hureg finds the kill to Sureforce. There's something. When you hang out on top of the siege tank, it gets a bit dangerous. Hydration getting battered around, has to recall back. Translocate back, rather. Little hack onto Prophet to keep him at arm's reach. And it looks like Gladiators are going to have to regroup.
Yeah, they're going to try and pick up at some exit kills here. Jester had to use the Primal Rage to ensure that Sureforce wasn't going to be resurrected on top of that tank. So they need to commit another ult just to win the fight. But they're coming up on a couple of support ults.
It's a waste of ammo, Fury. Come on.
Wait, she has infinite ammo, though. It's fine.
I mean, it's got to run out sometime.
It doesn't.
I guess you're going to blow up your mech before you run out. So in that sense, it is infinite, I suppose. A new one will have more ammo.
EMP charged.
As Hydration just told us, EMP is charged, ready to go. They had a good one last time.
Bedoshin's hanging really far back around this corner.
Yeah.
He does not. They're going to use the Translocator to engage.
Oh, that's aggressive. EMP comes in. Did they get Bedoshin with that one, though? I don't think they did. No, Transcendence comes out.
He tranced immediately upon seeing that. That was such... That was a transparent attack right there. You see the Diva and the Winston coming over the top. You see that Translocator. You just pop. You pop the trance. Like there's... I mean, I think the big mistake, too, was using the EMP at all in that situation. It goes for naught here.
I was wondering if he was just trying to fake him out, you know? But if you're engaging with the Translocator, then I guess there's no faking about that. Unless you're just like giving up your, giving up your life for the Transcendence, which, you know, seems like it might be reasonable.
Well, especially when the Diva and the Winston are also committing their movement abilities. Yeah, there's no fakery there. But they did get both support ults, and now Gladiators coming back with both of theirs. So if the mission was an eco push, go ahead, trade the EMP, see how many ults we can get, then it has been very successful.
Prophet coming in, Bedoshin and Closer both down. No supports for London right now. No Widowmaker either. They're going to go ahead and use a lot on the Gladiator side to get it, but they're going to make a lot of progress here towards B. And whoa, it's a Winston battle in the Cathedral. Fissure has to back away. Yeah, he nearly got the kill anyway, so you might as well do that. Headshots from Shaz and Hydration to keep that payload moving.
Respawns are coming in, though. There's still a little ways to go. Jester can jump on this if he wants to.
Get it.
They're not going to choose to go for it. Instead, they will back off. And here you go. Nice replay. Sureforce back on top of the siege tank. Gets Hureg mid-flight.
And took a couple shots, but he did it. 2:25 on the clock for the Gladiators as they get this push through point C started.
So in the end, that EMP actually ends up being pretty good value for the Gladiators, which is nice for them.
Removing the Transcendence turned out to be
and the Valk.
A better thing, and the Valk, yeah, good point.
Come back with their own pair of support ultimates, push through, ends up doing work. Sureforce will be resurrected.
Yeah, luckily died back close enough to his team. Fissure jumping down to get the payload a little bit more distance, but nope, now the Gladiators are going to push him back. So a regroup, or the Spitfire are going to push him back, rather. A little bit of a regroup here. Sureforce and Hydration not quite able to get to the payload. Looks like Hydration's just going to fall off and reset.
Big stack of ults for the Spitfire, though. Gladiators.
Yeah, they're getting close to their support ults on the Gladiator side, I suppose.
Yeah, they're coming in, but when you're also going to be dealing with a self-destruct and a primal soon, that's a lot more problems. Hureg moving over to the McCree right now. Great in these close-range fights.
Oh, yeah. You've got a lot of corners to come around and flashbang somebody on. Definitely works out. Prophet lurking. Going for the kill here on the Shaz. Going to force that Transcendence out as he's going to run up to join his team. They need more, though. Big EMP comes in. Can they capitalize on it, though? Ooh, it looks like they can. They lost Hydration, but there's a stick from Prophet. Oh, Fissure down. Gesture res by Closer, too. So London turning the fight around here. They lose Fury, but Fury responds with that kill onto Bijou's mech, too. So Gladiators not able to push the payload. They have to back away.
I mean, EMP hit the tanks, but it didn't hit Closer in the Valkyrie, so he kept a lot of the members of London alive longer than they should have been, able to get the resurrection off as well.
I'll pick on Bedoshin now from Shaz, and that may be the 6v5 the Gladiators need to keep pushing this one a bit.
Yeah, they're going to let him come back to life. No resurrection. Now Prophet gonna be playing the flank one more time. There is a Valkyrie for Big Goose.
Yep. Here we go. The payload nearing its destination, but Gladiators nearing the end of their time here. Shaz down. Fury finds the kill. Hydration did get Hureg, but the Zenyatta being out of commission for Gladiators is a problem. Fissure now with the Primal Rage, trying to juggle, trying to just keep people zoned out here. It's going to be Big Goose with the Valkyrie too, for the healing coming in after he got that res onto Shaz.
And they've got to get on the cart right now.
They gotta
Bijou touches for overtime, gets debacked, however.
Whoa!
Sent him to self-destruct and went straight up.
Well, that works, man. Big Goose down via the Deadeye, but it doesn't matter. Gladiators responding with an ult of their own, and they will take it.
Punching it on through all the way to the end of the map.
Yep. Wow. Well, that was, in the end, it came down to overtime, but Gladiators were able to get it done. Let's listen to hear what they had to say at the end of point A.
Ring a point. Help Fissure. I'm heading Fissure. We're playing Fissure now. Yeah, play Poison. We don't boot. Heals. Yeah, only send heals. Heals walls. I'm close to
I'm jumping Dojo.
Okay. Dive Dojo. They're peeling hard. Oh, C9.
A classic. It's a classic.
As you can see, they had every opportunity to step onto that point.
They did.
Very nice camera angle we got at the end there.
All we were missing was Jake saying, "Welcome to Overwatch League."
I just want to insert that into every clip now.
I know, me too. At the end of every clip, it should just be Jake saying, "Welcome to Overwatch League." I'm down with that. Yep. All right, and let's watch that Bijou self-destruct at the very end from downtown.
I mean, there's just no getting away from that. You have to be there on the payload at the time. Bijou knows that, and so pushes a great self-destruct over the top. I thought he had been debacked from that angle because I saw him.
I mean,
the mini diva form. I was technically correct. The best kind of correct.
It's your favorite kind of correct too. I know. I know you're a fan of that one. Very pleased with yourself right now.
No.
He was out of his mech.
Yeah, I was not pleased with that. But in the end, nice self-destruct from Bijou to seal the deal and get all 3 points.
All right, well, London on the attack now. At least they held Gladiators to OT, so they've got that going for him anyway. Surefour emerging from the Fargo Deep Mine. But has he collected enough gold dust to give the quest giver in Goldshire? That's the question.
I don't know what that means.
It's okay. Other people out there know. That's what's important to me. Here we go. And the Spitfire on the attack. Right, looking for those shots. They're not going to run, or they are going to run rather, Sombra.
Junkrat on the defense now for Hydration.
Yep.
So this is a defense they've run before, and it will be Tracer Sombra combination for the London Spitfire. Both Prophet and Hureg are opposite the tanks and supports right now, so they want to just attack Surefour because they know he's going to rotate as far away as he can from the tanks and supports, and then they're going to jump on him now.
Yeah, the DPS getting in there. Hureg setting it up. Taking some shots from Shaz, and he had to translocate out of there. Now it's just Prophet in on his own. Meanwhile, back on the point, Fury charging onto the top there, trying to push Gladiators off the high ground. Bijou pushing him away, though. They're fighting for every inch of it. Fury takes a big shot, though, from Surefour, and he has to back away. No ticks taken yet by Spitfire, but they haven't been dislodged as of yet. Hydration jumping in. They've kind of got them cornered a bit. That's going to be the Valkyrie. Oh, Fury finds the kill on Hydration. That's big, but Gesture goes down. The Surefour with the shot, and Prophet somehow survives the trap, I suppose, with Hydration dead. He got a better chance, and nearly a tick taken by London so far. Hydration res, and he's got the Riptire, so that is big. What can he get with it? He gets Badoshin. Self-destruct comes in, and closer taken. He was way off the map, and he couldn't fly back to his team and get to cover to avoid the Bijou ultimate. And that's going to be a hold. No ticks taken by London.
Good cleanup from the Gladiators. Now, they do have to commit 3 ultimates to that hold. Hureg been struggling here. He tried to get in Surefour's face with a translocator after the respawn, but wasn't enough. And now, London Spitfire looking at another attack here on Blizzard World. They know they have to complete this map.
True enough. They're off to a bit of a slow start doing that. Ooh, Gesture really low too. Oh, and Surefour finds Badoshin. Yet another pick. They use the res, sure, but that's not something you want to have to use that early, of course.
No, it's not. Gesture still trying to get through this main choke point right now. Prophet on the flank. Bijou is going to be there waiting for him, as you see on the left-hand side.
Yep. Oh, Bijou's like, hey. Just trying to control space.
Looking for me?
He's gathering information, controlling that space. Surefour still the problem. Now another infra site for Surefour.
People are looking for Ureg on. They detect him as well. EC going on the point right now. They're going to chase down Fissure. Fissure a little bit on his own here, but Gesture all the way back to spawn now. They're on the point. It's a 5v6. Fury throws a self-destruct in. Doesn't find any kills out of that one just yet. They're going to draw the ultimate out from Big Goose here. Valkyrie used. Now Hydration sending the Riptire, and he gets Badoshan again. He's targeted him both times, and Surefour wins the Whittle duel while this is occurring. Goodbye Profit and goodbye push for London Spitfire. They've got less than a minute to take A, and you know, even if they do take point A at this point, it's going to be so hard to finish the map.
And it's another switch to a dive comp coming out of the London Spitfire. EMP doesn't work. Big Goose already in the Valkyrie, and the tanks are hacked, but the healing's still there. Now they're going to try once again to deal with Surefour, but Closer will fall, and guess what? There is no mercy to res him.
Now Surefour will deal with their Lucio, and now London bottled up in that room as well. Surefour has him right where he wants them. A kill to Badoshan. Surefour actually got him with the Venom Mine. And just 20 seconds remaining for London to mount some sort of desperate attack. If they lose more people, that's going to be disastrous.
They're waiting for Badoshan now. It's all or nothing with this Moira and the Lucio. They can speed boost, but they're going to be fighting on the point, and they don't have a lot of protection. I mean, Surefour coming through the choke.
The tanks aren't there to protect the DPS, and the support's coming through the choke. The tanks are off on the side. So how do you approach it? That was tough. Overtime ticking away. Can they get there? They're going in now. Luckily, they've got the coalescence for Badoshan's Moira. Trying to push Bishu back. He's a bit on his own, but Surefour finds another shot onto Gesture. They lose Fissure. London not done yet, but they've lost Hureg now. Overtime ticking. Fury pops that self-destruct to get back in the mech, and he gets Bishu with the Bunny Blaster in the meantime.
That's a
Fury
huge
down.
kill from Shad.
Whoa, yeah, he doesn't get back in the mech. And with the res onto Surefour, nobody's getting there. It's going to be a 2-0 lead for Gladiators as we go into halftime.
Gladiators looking dominant. London down 0-2. These first two maps were the most likely for the Gladiators to win. London will be more comfortable after the half.
Right.
But even if London manages to tie it up, we're still going to Oasis. And yes, London won on Oasis recently, but they're still 2-8 on that map overall. It is going to be hard. Gladiators in a fantastic position.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere, guys. Halftime coming up when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone. It's a good day to be in LA for the Gladiators fans. They're up 2-0 at the half. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett here with the boys. We got Reinforced, we got Crumbs, and I was looking at my notes here to try and count how many headshots we saw from Surefour in the first half. Let's start this one with our first map. Of course, we saw Volskaya Industries. Crumbs, what's the big takeaway? What's your headline for game one?
So the big headline for game one is that London is feeling a bit charitable and ended up donating 3 points just because. And it ended up happening because they are having this issue that you just would never expect to actually occur, and it's staying on the point. 3 times, 3 attacks, they simply just stayed away from it. They're playing around Hureg, and unfortunately, Hureg right now is not at the level where Surefour is at, so it's already at a disadvantage. Couple that with the fact that they are just not on the same page. I'm really not sure what's going on with London.
And I got the numbers from our stat wizard, Captain Planet. You wonder how many Surefour headshots he took? Well, 26 of them landed on domes.
What? That sounds like a lot.
Are you sure that's not made
not
up?
just false guy, not just false
Okay.
guy, but that is some beautiful work coming in from your sniper. We talked about Fissure, the importance he was going to have on this map. But Johnny, it felt like London Spitfire was just kind of throwing the game away at times.
The fact that it got so close was a bit unexpected. It came down to the last push, and I was like, this is going to be the easy or the most unexpected draw of all of Overwatch League, because it got so close, and this was the game-deciding play. Infra side is up, but Gesture doesn't even pay attention to Asher. Gets pulse bombed and eventually goes down, and we're at the 5 versus 6. This was a very uncharacteristic London Spitfire. I don't even know what went through their minds this map. They played so passive, they didn't contest points, Hureg didn't turn up, and they just took no initiative. I was very surprised.
They got really lucky that I've seen the Gladiators make this happen before, where they have the support ultimates and are ready to snowball properly, but something goes wrong. A lot of times the support ultimates get blown a little bit beforehand with that final Valkyrie trans infra site push on the overtime, and still weren't able to cap it off that one, so they got a little bit lucky in that push. But London just needs to get a halftime talk, some of that MJ secret juice, because they need it now.
We need some secret juice. Come on now. All right, Johnny, talk us through map 2, because we went to Blizzard World, and coming into this game, Gladiators unbeaten on this new map at 4-0.
Yeah, but even then, we looked at London Spitfire last week, and they looked so good on this map when they played the Moira and they played the Lucio. But instead, they still play with Hureg on the Widowmaker, and it just wasn't working. The Sombra wasn't working as well, and they got first point health. Again, so uncharacteristic of this London Spitfire. I predicted London Spitfire to win because they just don't contest the point. Okay, dude. Yep, that's not how you play Overwatch.
The fast pass coming in from the Sombra. Now, you said that we were going to see a lot of Widowmakers. Hureg was on that Widow for a bit.
Yeah.
And of course, we see it on the other side for Surefour. But why does the Sombra have the big impact in this game?
Well, because you make it so hard for the Winston and the Diva to reach the enemy Widowmaker, right? So you buy more time for your own Widowmaker. And if you have Surefour on your team popping off, then you want to buy him as much time as possible. So a Tracer can do a lot of damage, but getting the hacks onto the enemy tanks is so more efficient.
But you know, London also ran Sombra themselves. Hureg got to start the offense playing Sombra, but their strategy around it was just not like typically
It's so
Sombra.
slow.
It was right. They had Tracer and Sombra together with the rest of the team grouping up to make like a 2-man flank, but you don't have any damage in your tank unit. Whereas the Tracer, there's no Sombra. You don't even threaten a hack, so there's going to be absolutely no reason why they should even back off from your initial attempt. So it just creates more wasted time, and they don't even get the first point on Blizzard World.
Johnny, after my games this morning, I'm officially in gold at 24-57, and I need to know, you've been talking at a master's level, bring it down to me. Bring it down to me. If I'm a London Spitfire fan, I know we got some good maps coming up. How do we get to a Game 5 with Ilios, Route 66, and then eventually Oasis?
You just gotta believe, Puckett, okay? You gotta be brave. You gotta play the Lucio, you gotta pull out the Moira and just play fast and just jump in. Because what the London Spitfire are doing, they're just standing still, they're waiting for the Widowmaker to get picks, but it's a team game. So apply some pressure, be brave, jump in, create some space, you know, but don't play so passive, Puckett.
Crumbs, how you feeling about your prediction right now?
I'm feeling great. I knew this was going to happen. I said that it's going to open up 2-0 with Gladiators winning Volskaya. Blizzard World, they were undefeated. Now is the time where I'm a little bit worried. I think it's going to be Gladiators take it only if Ruins gets to happen on Ilios. But I feel great here. I think that if London wins it, it will have to be with that reverse sweep, which is really unlikely. This is not the best Game 5 team.
So many
You're
reverse
welcome.
sweeps.
I'm calling it, Johnny.
They're
Don't
great
get
at
mad.
getting
Don't
reverse
get mad.
swept. Guys, that is going to do it for halftime.
It's
I'm told by
happening.
production, we're
It's
cut off.
happening.
We're going to commercial break. When we come back, London starts the reverse sweep. Stay tuned for it. You don't want to miss it.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The LA Gladiators are showing that they have all the power as they currently hold a 2-0 lead over the London Spitfire at this time. And what can I say? These guys are playing with a whole lot of soul. They want to make back-to-back wins a reality at this particular time. And you know what? It's great seeing Fisher out there creating all the space. It's like he's in the mind of the London Spitfire at this time. It is crazy, but if anybody can pull off the reverse sweep, it is definitely the London Spitfire. So let's see if they can do that stuff right now and get back into the action with our casters, Monty and Doa.
All right, thanks, Malik. You do have to wonder if maybe London has gotten into their own minds a little bit here after some instances where they maybe weren't in the right place at the right time and gave up a payload, gave up a point on Volskaya. It's got to be a little bit tilt-inducing, doesn't it?
I think that may have caused some problems. They've had now the halftime to readjust. They're coming on to the maps in this series where they do have better win rates than the Gladiators overall, but it's going to be tough to go back and do a reverse sweep scenario when they have been so historically terrible at Oasis.
Oh, that's the thing. You mentioned it before the break. They're 2-8 on Oasis, so if we get there, it's grim for London Spitfire. Asher coming in for hydration, which again is a huge surprise as we move forward towards Ilios here. Probably wanting to run that Tracer Widowmaker again that we know Gladiators is having quite a bit of success with lately.
Yeah, but Gladiators has run triple tank Genji on Ruins in particular, so
yeah, they can do a couple different things.
But with the way Surefour is playing today, I think you definitely try and bring back the Widowmaker. He is convincingly winning many of these duels, and What is the answer here from the Spitfire? They haven't been able to put any pressure on him whatsoever, and he's getting pocketed. He's following the Orb of Discord. He's trying to make sure that he's damage boosted, and when he's hitting all these shots, he's tearing up the London Spitfire before they can even get close to him.
Sure enough. Well, while I shudder to think of what happens to all these great archaeological sites during a map of Ilios, I'm excited to see if the London Spitfire can come back and tie things up. They're going to start things off here on Ruins, and this is just going to be a Widowmaker's playground for sure. We'll see if Hureg can contest.
Well, in Greece, these ruins do actually have a history of having modern battles fought in them.
That is unfortunately true.
Unfortunately true.
You raise a sad but factual point. All right, still waiting for those shots. There he is, he pops up. Sure going airborne. Does not find a shot onto Hureg. Both Widowmakers playing this one so safe. The point is unlocked. Gladiators getting a little bit of control meter building up first. Let's see if they can complete the capture. London looking ready to dive in. They've nearly got it already. London just getting zoned out. Now they come in, but Bijou ready to finish off Gesture. Ooh, Surefour takes a shot from Hureg, but stays alive. And London does get Fissure, but they can't take the point. And now they're on the run. Asher already throws that Pulse Bomb in, trying to get the DMEC onto Fury. Gets the kill onto Closer. You know, maybe that Pulse Bomb was a bit over-eager, but either way, Gladiators do get firm control over the point.
Gladiators just pushing forward slowly, and Prophet on this Roadhog. They wanted to run triple tank and get a pick with either their Widowmaker or the Roadhog, but Gladiators do a great job of staying out of line of sight, out of hook range, and so there's never an opportunity for the Spitfire to go in. They get jumped on in the end, and the higher damage from the Gladiator melts the tanks.
Oh, Prophet forced to use the breather right away, just to avoid some of that damage as he charges onto the point right now. On the Roadhog, there's a hook on Bijou, targeting fire coming in. They're going to cause that self-destruct to come out. Prophet stuck, but he stays alive again via that breather. Now, Hydration, or rather Shaz going in with the Transcendence. They're going to use that healing to push London off the point again. Prophet has the whole hog, but not the best point here. No, he can't really push Fissure off, I don't think. They're going to get the Primal Rage out, but Shaz get the kill on the Prophet anyway. Now Hureg getting juggled by Fissure. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to use this. Might as well get a kill out of it. Gesture does get the kill into Surefour in the meantime. Winston's versus Widowmakers is a big thing now on this point, but when the dust settles, it's going to be nearly 70% already for the Gladiators.
And Prophet now forced over to the Tracer.
Yeah.
Shot from behind during that whole hog, easily killed. Shaz has been amazing tonight, honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean, the way he protected his fellow support on Blizzard World that we just saw, the way he's getting the picks now. I mean, we know Shaz has been one of the better Zenyatas in the league, but he is really kind of firing on all cylinders, or all orbs, I guess you could say, tonight. Meanwhile, on board with Shaz as he nearly, well, as he dies, I'm sorry. I've cast or cursed you. Again, this seems to happen pretty frequently.
There's nothing really he could do there. Juggled in the corner. So London at 99% will be taking over this point.
Yep. Well, Asher down. It looks like, yeah, London will be grabbing it. They should. But they do it at 99. So Gladiators have the luxury of time on their side now as they look at approaching this point and attacking. They can just do a couple economy pushes to build up that ultimate bank.
It's still going to be tricky, though, because London has the luxury of both support ultimates. They saved them for this occasion. Now we're taking a look. Hureg on the bottom side of the map. Surefour playing very far back right now.
They have the luxury of ultimates, but do they have the responsibility of efficiency?
They have so far. They have so far.
It's a good start. Hureg just pops that infra sight to keep an eye on where the Gladiators are. For a little while here. Oh, really? You've detected some enemies? Wow. What a brilliant deduction that was, Sherlock. Oh, sarcastic, true. Gesture down. Asher finds him with the Pulse Bomb. Gladiators coming in. They got a shot here. Shaz with the Transcendence. Prophet down. Asher finds another one. Self-destruct used by Fury. He's going to get back into the mech again. Asher down. There's go Fissure. Hureg finally showing up here. Getting some kills to keep London in control. But Surefour trying to turn it around. And he will with a shot on a Bedosin. Needs a bit more. They weren't able to dislodge the Spitfire from the point, though.
No, it was a 5 versus 3 in favor of London by the end. So the Infrasight doesn't get much value as it falls away. Big Goose coming back with a Valkyrie. Spitfire will be relying just on the Primal.
True. Surefour trying to find the shot into Hureg, decides to take one onto Fury instead. The dive comes in. Big Goose going to use a Valkyrie. They can't keep Shaz up, though. Can they maybe get the res though? I'm not sure. They're taking the point. They've nearly got it halfway through. London Spitfire has to go back. Surefour trying to avoid. Whoa, trying to avoid the raging ape. Gesture chasing him down, or at least booping into a path that Hurek can take advantage of. Big Goose there for the res, but it's already 90% for London Spitfire. We're headed to a 99-99 fight here.
And they're coming all the way back. Prophet needs to find a target for this pulse bomb. He's going to zip in and try and get it onto a tank.
Didn't work out. Didn't get the pick. Didn't get a stick. We're into OT. Gladiators needs to take the point back again. London trying to go up onto Ilios here. Overtime ticking away. Oh, but they've lost closer. The mercy for Spitfire down. Now Gesture just trying to survive. Transcendence used. Surefour gets the kill onto Hurek. Another Widow v Widow victory. Bedosian down as Fissure pops that Primal Rage. And it looks like the Gladiators may just be able to turn this one around. Asher avoiding the self-destruct with that recall here. But Fury not so lucky, and that's going to be Gladiators swapping it, and they will take the first point. Wow, at the last minute, they come in and get the job done.
Scary again. It's a close match. We saw this on Volskaya. London giving so much up at first, clawing back, and then Gladiators barely pushing it over the edge with a small advantage.
I mean, it was that pick on the closer at the beginning of the fight that really kind of opened the door for them to grind that one out.
Definitely was. Now we are going to head to Lighthouse as the second point. And it seems that we will have double McCrees for Hureg and Surefour. A common strategy that we see employed on this map.
That's right. You know, when you've got a tighter space, then McCree is basically like a mini mid-range Widowmaker. That accuracy comes up big.
Yeah, also probably London gonna be expecting them to use a Tracer Genji composition because that's what they have done in the past. So the McCree would be viable, but instead Surefour, he likes his odds from range, and who wouldn't after watching him play today?
I mean, and who wouldn't either after seeing what Surefour's history on this hero is. He was a pretty legendary McCree for a long time in the early days of Overwatch. Greg needs a bit of healing here. Surefour still not dislodged from the high ground, but London nearly on the verge of taking the point early, and with the kills on Fissure and Shaz, they should get it. Yeah, control percent going early for London.
Now Surefour is sniping from the high ground because there weren't any kills as they approached the point. That was a retake moment for the Gladiators, and with everybody there in flashbang range of Hureg works out to their advantage, and even a late stagger kill now for the Gladiators as Surefour tries to get back to the safety of his team. Not going to be a resurrection.
Nope, going to take time. Gladiators setting it up again, but they have to wait for that McCree. So London, they are 6-4 on this map. 3-7 for Gladiators. So like we talked about, these last two maps, London does have the numbers advantage in terms of the results.
Asher and Fissure on the backside of the point now, alongside Big Goose. Now they're gonna jump in.
A Bedosian down early, big pick for Gladiators. Oh, and there's a Deadeye in the closer. Both supports out of commission. Hureg, he couldn't get away. There was nowhere to roll to. And that's another kill from Asher. Gladiators just steamroll this fight, and they should be able to grab the point back.
Yeah, that was a really good attack from the Gladiators. They just positioned their Tracer and their Winston on the backside of the point and waited for cooldowns to come up for them to exploit Bedosian back into a small room. His kill comes in first, so London doesn't really use many ultimates, however. In their defense, they lost that fight immediately and had the presence of mind not to invest too much.
True enough. Exploit Bedosian sounds like a rejected Star Wars alien name.
Could be. It could be.
Probably a long list there. London trying to take the point back. Surefour has to retreat a little bit here. Getting a lot of damage done, but no picks just yet. Gladiators holding this high ground as best they can. Man, that's a lot of ultimates for London, though. They decide to use them. They could have a big edge here. They're going in now. Oh, nice shot from Bedosian. The res is going to come through. And as is, oh no, he missed the self-destruct. It didn't go into the point. It bounced off the side. To quote another Star Wars thing, it just deflected off the surface.
It did deflect off the surface. Fissure also shut down the Deadeye on the high ground from Surefour by using the Primal Rage.
That's right. Gesture coming through there. Fissure down now in London. Looks like they're going to be able to hold this or reclaim it and hold the point a bit longer. Gladiators in a little bit of trouble here on Lighthouse.
Yeah, they're buying time, but the ultimate investment from the Gladiators was huge. just to get a little bit of time. And now we're heading into one fight territory for the London Spitfire, and they've got the ults. If the point is rushed, they have the Transcendence, they have the self-destruct. This is going to be a trick for the Gladiators with almost nothing except for the Valkyrie, and that's not very useful for this close-range fight that's about to develop.
Bedosian hitting a lot of shots here. Oh, nearly takes down Surefour actually again. Here we go. Gladiators pulled it out of the fire on Ruins. Let's see if they can do it right here. They do get the kill onto Hureg. It's a good start. Bedosian holding onto that Transcendence here. Going to use it to make sure that his Mercy survives. Closer's still alive. Hureg gets res. They covered that one as well, and now Bishu in a lot of trouble. D-Mech, and he's gonna get D-Life soon. Not dead just yet, actually. Gets back in the mech somehow. Wow, I can't believe it. And Prophet, nearly dead, nearly got knocked off. Had to blink back in. He gets the health back on the outside, and we're into OT. Gladiators scrambling, but they're losing too many people. And it should be London holding it.
There's still a self-destruct for Fury, though, and they can hold this for a long time as the members of the Gladiators trickle in.
Oh yeah, Surefour ran in with the Soldier 76, but yeah, you're not taking that one back, and that's gonna be London Spitfire tying up Ilios.
That was such a tough situation for Gladiators, with the difference in ultimates only having the Valkyrie when you have to push in. Sure, you can get that first pick, but if the trance is there, great timing from Bedosian, gets Hureg rest again, comes back, still there with a flashbang at close range, and it's too much. It's too much, that ult economy difference, and that means Spitfire will take the win on Lighthouse, and we are going to head into the final point well.
That's right. Moving towards the well now, the winner of this point will win Ilios. And of course, that means if the Gladiators take it, they'll win the series. So the series on the line right now between these two teams. Again, if London loses here today, I believe it's pretty much impossible for them to make the playoffs. Gladiators, of course, on the fringe as well of that fourth place spot, but a win here would certainly help out.
And both teams will be heading back to Tracer McCree play. It will be a battle for space at the start.
Yep. Prophet dodging back to grab that health pack for the moment. It's grabbing that high ground that's crucial here. Gladiators do it. Now they jump down. And can they push the London Spitfire out? They are taking it in a hurry here. They've got a bit of control meter built up. Prophet in trouble, has to escape back to his team. Comes around the back, though.
Yeah, just playing opposite corners. Bishu walking up. He may come back right into Prophet. That could be a problem for him. He's not going to get demeched. All his Matrix looks like it's gone.
Oh, Prophet recalls. Yeah, Bishu should be able to get back to a health pack here. We'll see. No, not just yet. Nearly demeched. He needs healing in a hurry. Gesture body blocking, but there's a stick. A kill from Prophet via the Pulse Bomb. Fissure gets res, but Fury runs Bishu's mech over with his own. And the Gladiators starting to lose control at this point, rather. London Spitfire turning it around. Bishu down, there goes Surefour. And it looks like London Spitfire should be able to clean this one up. Yeah, they'll get the control percent going. And now the rest of Gladiators just trying to survive. Deadeye comes in, gets Asher. Hureg found him here. Gladiators being aggressive, but they don't have a lot of people to do it. Man, I just do not know about that Transcendence from Shaz. Big Goose used the Valkyrie too, and it just didn't seem like they had the numbers to make a fight out of it.
No, it didn't, and this all goes back to Bishu being pushed so far up because he was trying to create space for his team, then he had to use his boost to go back, but Prophet was already there, had to use up a lot of his defensive matrix and got mega chunked by Prophet, built up the Pulse Bomb, and then that Pulse Bomb killed Gesture and demech Bishu.
Yep.
Little positional things can be punished at this level of Overwatch.
I mean, talk about positional things being punished. Surefour getting hit hard on the McCree. There goes Shaz and Big Goose as well. And that's a reset now coming in from the Gladiators. Good news for them is they do have a decent amount of ultimates coming up on the way back, but London Spitfire not too far behind in that category either.
No, they're not too far behind, and in some ways, especially with the support ults, they're slightly ahead, and there's not a whole lot besides of difference right now, because these are mostly going to be stalling or space creation ultimates. So if Gladiators have to use them, they're going to have to use them first just to get territory on the point, and then they'll be countered later on.
Yep. Asher getting aggressive, going after, oh, no stick, but he does get the kill to Bedosian anyway. Finds a Zen, that's what they needed. 70% for London. Gladiators trying to finally take the point back here. They lose Bishu though, and Fissure with that Primal Rage. Zones out Closer, but can't get the kill. Has to get back to the point. Oh, Shaz finds the kill on the Gesture. No Winston there. Gladiators scrambling to try to flip this one. Both Mercies using the ult, and now Shaz pops a Transcendence as well. Deadeye, Hureg being protected, no kills in that ultimate, but he does get the DMAC onto Bishu with that one. Pulse Bomb now into Fury, so both Divas out of the suit, I believe. Oh no, not quite yet. Fury actually managed to survive there. 99% coming up for London. Surefour and Big Goose down. I think London has this map.
I think they do too. It's only 2 members left. Make that one. Bishu down, and that'll be it.
So London Spitfire stays alive in this series as they will take Ilios 2-1. Still got a chance.
So on that chance to pull off the reverse sweep, they'll head onto Route 66, which has been a fantastic map for them, 8-2 overall. And if they can win that, they'll send us into Oasis.
That's right. Chance for that tiebreaker. Hureg coming up big with a couple big shots like that one onto Surefour. So London fans not despairing quite yet. Still a chance to tie it up. When we come back, we'll see if they can do it right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
The damage available. And Boyer has so much ability to be able to just get away from players like Linkser on the Tracer. Now getting very close, building up the ult, and there it is. Oh, okay, the coalescence coming out here. Jaehong's just giving the Houston Outlaws a good hosing down. Oh, they're clean indeed. But that push from Soul was nothing but dirty.
Well, it was close, but the London Spitfire managed to stay alive with a win on Ilios. So the Gladiators still in a situation where they can win this map right here, right now on Route 66, but this isn't the best map for them. On the other hand, it's a pretty great map for the Spitfire.
And it is also a great map for Widowmakers. And given what we've already seen today, I think you have to put the Gladiators' odds up on this map because it's usually a Widow Tracer versus Widow Tracer battle. And considering that basically every map, Surefour's been popping up on this Widowmaker, even on Ruins, the point where they actually ran the Widow on Ilios was won by the Gladiators. So if the Gladiators can duplicate that performance, I think they may be in good shape to snag it away on Route 66. Regardless, even if they don't win here, they probably go into Oasis with a heavy advantage. It, I think, is going to be tough for the Gladiators to lose this series.
I mean, yeah, you go to Oasis, you bring hydration in, then there's Junkrat stuff all over the place, and GG, right? So, I mean, in London Spitfire coming to that one, 2-8 too, not the best record in the tiebreaker.
They did win their last one though, so there is true. They finally took their second win on Oasis. They took it 2-0. They won the series. A lot of factors involved in this. Hureg defense on the Widow, and Gladiators have to be loving this. Surefour has been looking fantastic on the sniper today, and he's been pocketed, and it's been a lot of the, we don't talk a lot about this, or enough about this, I should say, which is Shaz has been great with the Orb of Discord. They really seem like Surefour and Shaz are on the same page. Shaz is also defending Surefour against a lot of the attempts by Prophet or by Hureg on the Sombra in order to shut him down.
Yep. Now, Hureg has found a couple kills onto Surefour throughout the day, but certainly has been Surefour coming out ahead most of the times they've met. From across the field of battle, we'll see what happens here as the doors open. Gladiators trying to put this match away. A win here on Route 66 would do just that. And they're going to move out. Asher on the Tracer, of course. Surefour on that Widowmaker. Ishu taking a look at what the lay of the land is here.
You will see Hureg, Closer, and Bedoshin on top of Big Earl. Surefour has that information now. Gonna back off, fire his Venom Mine over. Hureg is gonna take out Surefour on the low ground. Quick res.
I mean, the res is right there, right? But still, that's a statement from Hureg, you know, and he has found a win here and there in the Widow v Widow. You can't count this guy out completely.
But through all of that, the Gladiators still keep everything rolling.
Yeah, they do. I'm actually surprised the payload didn't get stalled out there. London Spitfire looking a bit timid here. Surefour backed away, some pressure coming in from Prophet on the Tracer. Gesture down, Asher finds that one in the back lines, and now if you're London, you gotta be a little bit worried here.
But every time London tries to put the pressure on, Gesture walks forward to make space. Orb of Discord onto Gesture, and it's Surefour and Asher dealing the damage. So there's no protection, and it doesn't matter if you get that initial kill onto Surefour because it is irrelevant with the resurrection, and it's irrelevant because the payload just never stops.
Easy dive for the Gladiators to kill the supports on London, and that sets up an easy point A take. 5:13 on the clock as the doors to be open. Let's check out the end of that one. Surefour, there's a shot.
Right onto just a little janitorial duty, cleaning it up.
Oh yeah. Fissure being like, man, you stole 3 kills from me just now. Well, I guess 2. Not counting the Widowmaker. Bedoshin, though, finding one on the Shaz.
I mean, they can't keep going with this Widowmaker on the side of the London Spitfire, or on the side of, yes, London. Yeah. And I think maybe this is where you swap over to the Genji and the Tracer again. Do it earlier this time.
Yep. I mean, they knocked down Surefour in the end, but yeah, I mean, clearly, Surefour coming out ahead in these Widow v Widows. Right, Valkyrie used by Big Goose. They just want to keep this payload moving. Fissure waiting. He's got the Primal Rage if he wants to use it. Might decide to do that to push him out. We'll see. Waiting on that Transcendence. They've got one of their own. Shaz uses his. Chases his Zen away. The later Transcendence means that Gladiators have the edge in this fight pushing forward. They lose Surefour, but a support dying on the other side. Res denied. Closer. Knocked down by Bishu, and now Fissure going to use the Primal Rage to go after Hureg and send him flying. See ya. Whoa. What? Oh, no. Just one grapple. That's all you get. That's all you get. Not enough time to stay on the cliff.
And during the Infrasight too, so another Infrasight London doesn't get any advantage out of. Surefour is going to be in the tunnel overlooking the long side of this point. They have to wait for Shaz and Big Goose to get back though, with both supports falling on the side of the Gladiators. But London, they have nothing left. They have no gas in the tank. They are so far from any impactful ultimates that this is going to be a good push by the Gladiators.
And they've got all the points in their favor right now. And it's still that Widow v Widow. Hureg wants it. I think Surefour wants it too. I don't think he's got a problem with this.
I don't think he does either. He's been winning pretty handily throughout this series. Fisher is going to kill both of the supports. Okay.
Wow, look at that. He waits until Gesture gets away and then fires his shots. Man, that was some sneaky stuff from Surefour. A lot of people would be tempted to just take that shot right away, but he's like, no, I'm going to wait till he gets out of range, kill him as he dives in. That was beautiful.
And Shaz, once again, just so quick on these assists. I mean, Surefour just spun around. Gesture was at a weird flanking angle.
Oh, hi.
Asher now just
Everybody's
lurking.
watching the tanks go by. All right. It's like chilling out. And now it's time. Surefour has that infra sight. Let's see how long he sticks on the Widow here. A lot of ultimates now for Gladiators. Still, they didn't need to use anything really to finish B.
Does Hureg switch off the Widow when the infra sight is done? That's going to be the big question. Prophet in the back line now, causing some problems. Surefour.
Wow, that was really close. He took a couple orbs to the dome there, courtesy of Fedoshin. Time to go in. The ultimate used. Big Goose pops a Valkyrie. Now Surefour comes around from behind. Oh, two quick shots. They didn't see him coming, but they felt it. And now the Gladiators with a big push here to try to finish it. Still 3.5 minutes left. The respawns are going to need to do work. Asher misses his pulse bomb. No kills out of that one, but they did get Gesture meanwhile. Asher, ooh, down to 10 health, but he stays alive. And the push continues. The zoning comes in, trying to keep them bottled up into spawn. Fissure with that primal rage. Nobody's getting out of that door. They get back to the payload.
But they used everything to push it this far, and they still have a few meters left, Doa. There's a trance coming through from the Spitfire. Hureg will take out Asher. Okay. This is going to be tough for the Gladiators.
Yeah, new life now for London. They didn't get the payload all the way there, and yeah, they're going to lose Fissure as well. And now with London's ultimate advantage, this could turn into a bit of a hole.
I mean, 3 minutes, though. You'll definitely take that. Just burn all the gas in your tank if you're the Gladiators. Get it within a couple of meters of the end of the map, and you have so much time. However, London has stabilized with 6 ults, so this is looking like a situation where if London are conservative with their ult economy, they may be able to drag this out until time expires.
It's certainly possible. They're going to have 6 ultimates now as Closer closes in on his Valkyrie, and yeah, it just takes a bit of efficiency and one of the easiest to defend points in Overwatch to try to get the defensive hold here.
Rek using that infra sight to slow the approach of the Gladiators, and now they're going to go in.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb on one side, Raging Ape on the other, but the Pulse Bomb was eaten. Doesn't matter, though, as Spitfire crushes that fight, but they use 3 ultimates to do it.
Yeah, but they need that time. They can't give the Gladiators an inch right now, and they still have a lot of their most important ults for stalling available. 2 support ults, a self-destruct. They're going to be feeling fine about what the Gladiators are bringing at them.
Right. And so Gladiators coming back in again. Now they will have both of their support ultimates as well.
All right, here I think maybe if you're Surefour, you try and take a couple shots, and wow, they're just going to go in.
All right, getting aggressive here. Meanwhile, in the back, it's going to be a Widow battle. Hureg taking the worst end of that one, and Surefour chasing. Hureg down. Surefour turns it back around. They've got Closer as well. They got to get to the payload to push it, though. Those respawns coming really fast here. There goes Fedoshin. Big momentum now for Gladiators to try to finish this one off.
London's having their most success when they play aggressively, Doa, but they're only doing it in the waning seconds of a match. They seem so timid otherwise.
Yeah, that's right. They got to do it now. Fury out of commission. Surefour backing away. Gladiators pushing in cautiously. The payload nearly there. London needs to stop it. Contesting now. And Fissure just trying to push people off to move the payload the rest of the way. He backs off. They're keeping people on the payload. Hurray gets a kill on the Shaz. That is big for London. And it looks like Bishu demeched. Prophet down, but I think Gladiators might get denied again here. Yeah, they lost Asher. Now the cleanup comes in, and so close, only 3 meters away, but now 30 seconds remaining in London with the edge.
Yeah, Fedoshin will have, unless he gets sniped instantly, another Transcendence, and they have the Primal Rage. So London, they should hold this final point. Gladiators will have one last desperation effort to throw themselves on this cart.
That's right. They need to get all the picks here. Asher trying to dodge the shots from Hureg. Shaz takes a big hit, actually. He nearly died. That would have been disastrous for Gladiators. They're going to come in now. Fissure on the point already. Trying to push it forward. We're into OT. Asher comes down. No ultimates really. Surefour uses that Infrasight. Now the Transcendence for Bidoshin. Big Goose taken out. Gesture using that Primal Rage, putting it to good use. And it's looking pretty unlikely that the Gladiators are going to be able to finish this one unless it's the biggest self-destruct in the world. It's not going to be. And that should be about it. Just a few members left. Fissure there, but they've got no healing. And London will hold it here at the end of C.
Very close to the end of C, though. So Gladiators in prime position to take this series here on Route 66. Depending on how their own defense goes. It's been a tough battle for London. They've had a couple of great last-minute holds and aggressive play, but beyond that, they've given up so much room in this series, either by missing out on the objective entirely or by rolling over in the first few moments of a map and then that snowballing into 2-3 points.
Well, they've still got a chance here. If they can finish it, they can tie up the series and send us to Oasis. And as we mentioned earlier, it doesn't really get much easier for them at that point, but at least they will have given themselves the opportunity to stay alive. Again, I mean, in a very real sense for London here, their last chance at a possible playoff spot in this stage is kind of on the line.
It is, and even if they win, it's still incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, they need a lot of things to sort of magically fall in place, even if they did get the win here today against the Gladiators, to still make that 4th spot in the staged playoffs.
So here we go, more Tracer Widow duels. Surefour, it's been on fire today.
Yes, he has.
And now London gonna try and match one more time.
You know, credit to Hureg, though. He has been finding very important picks at good times, too. So it's been tough in the Widow v Widow, but I think overall Hureg's had a decent day.
But he has to win these duels. He has to be more consistent, I think, is the biggest issue, because he's been spending so many times like losing them, and then that means there's no pressure on Surefour, and Surefour starts killing your supports. So it's rough. I mean, Hureg, he's been okay, but he's no bird ring. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's about as accurate as you can state it, really. Here we go. London Spitfire on the attack. They've got to get it nearly to the end of point C to win the map. They've got to find a way to deal with Surefour. Greg looping around the side as we see Widows off and do. Surefour ready. Way back on the other side, kind of directly across from where Hureg is now.
Yeah, he's rotating to the furthest point away from the payload.
Yep.
For now. And Hureg gonna jump up. Doesn't exactly know where he is. Right around that corner.
They kind of are feeling out where each other are. There we go. Spot Surefour now. Waiting for it. Oh, Shaz finds Bidoshin, but Big Goose down to Hureg. Hureg got one anyway.
A much bigger kill.
And the dive coming in, though, for Gladiators. Surefour down. London Spitfire making some progress here. They are winning this fight. And the Gladiators kind of rolling over there.
As soon as the Mercy goes down, that's when the dive comes in. They sacrifice Closer for it, but it's well worth it to make sure that Surefour is dead and staggered. Asher still trying to duel with Prophet here on the payload. Surefour nearly back.
I mean, Asher did eat up a little bit of time on the time bank, and it's going to give at least Gladiators an opportunity to fight again at the end of this. They're going to go in the back, going after the supports now. Fury in a little bit of trouble, nearly demeched. Yep, Bidoshin safe, though. He was the one under threat initially in that dive. Oh, Surefour finds Hureg. That's a 1v1 we've been talking about this entire match. Now the Transcendence comes in from Shaz. Closer down. Fissure taken out by the self-destruct, though. But the supports in jeopardy on the Spitfire side. There goes Shaz. So London still managing to find a way to put it together here for the moment, anyway. Bidoshin run over. And that payload has not made much progress here.
No, it hasn't. Surefour is getting pummeled into a wall right now. Is low. Will get taken out by Hureg. Infrasight now. The problem with what happened with the Gladiators was, yes, they got the kill, but then it was a 5 versus 5 in Big Earl. Surefour was not a part of that engagement. So the Spitfire actually grind out an even fight in the end, despite being a player down.
Yeah. The payload finally makes it to the end of A, or nearly does anyway. The Gladiators not giving it up just yet. Another fight coming in. Self-destruct used. Bidoshin, they tried to push him out from behind with Fissure, but it didn't work out. Hureg gets the kill onto Surefour, so it's a 6v5 in favor of London. And they just want to finish off A, but wow, it's already been a pretty long hold. Nice stick onto Shaz from Prophet. Looking for the kill onto Big Goose as well. Big Goose fighting for his life. Prophet exits the fray for the moment. Fissure down, Big Goose down in reverse order. And that's going to be the end of point A. So, not a bad delay from Gladiators, but London finally pushes it through.
Yeah, about 2 minutes, 45 seconds of delay. And it's just about fighting for those precious meters right now because Gladiators know that Spitfire still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, the real danger is point C, right? So anytime you can take away an A and B are really impacting the final stretch. That's, as we just saw, very, very hard to complete.
Asher on the high ground right now. Surefour has the infra sight up and is taking some shots at the cart.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fissure just sitting on the cart. Transcendence used by Bedosian here. Ray, yeah, can't find the kill into Surefour, but Bishu out of the way now.
That was a really
an odd
optimistic push, I think, by the London Gladiators. They didn't have a lot when it came to ultimates, just the Infrasight and the Valkyrie, and they tossed it away. There were plenty of places for the Spitfire to hide behind the payload and in the buildings. Couldn't get any picks, and the Valkyrie ends up having very little value.
London Gladiators, you know about some trades in the offseason we don't know about?
They're combining into one roster.
What's going on? Wow, okay, you heard it here first, folks. Meanwhile, Spitfire nearly has it to the end of B. It's been a pretty smooth push for him so far. Fissure in a lot of trouble here. Jumps away. Oh, Hureg under pressure from Asher now. Prophet's still in the payload. They've nearly got it there. That pulse bomb. Oh, he's going to get himself. Whoops. Ooh, you think a Prophet would have seen that one coming. Meanwhile, Gesture with the Primal Rage gets a juggle onto Shaz. There's a kill. After Surefour now, Fissure there to protect him, but not enough protection. As Gesture chases down Big Goose on the high ground, gets the kill there. Now the Mercy out of the way. Gladiators in big trouble here.
Fissure's got the Primal Rage though, but Surefour is not going to be saved by it. Fissure.
Well, he doesn't get back to the payload to delay either.
No, he was just surrounded by the members of the London Spitfire, farmed for 1,000 HP worth of ultimate charges. 3 minutes and 13 seconds for London. Not the most time in the world to make it through C. A doable hold, certainly, for the Gladiators.
You know, it's less time than the Gladiators had on C, but London doesn't need to push it quite as far. They've just got to get it to where the Gladiators ended up. Now it's on that last defense here. The Gladiators looking to win the match with this defense. Right here, right now.
Asher was looking for a pulse bomb opportunity, but
Ureg low. Ooh, goes in for the melee, but he misses it. Gets the stick onto Gesture anyway. That's a big kill. Winston out of the way. And now he's sneaking around the back, making sure that the Mercy Res isn't coming in. Gonna take Ureg out on the way. That's a good start for Gladiators. That's gonna eat up about 45 seconds off the clock with that win right there.
Yeah, excellent pulse bomb value. It was patience from the side of Asher, looking for those supports, didn't commit to an angle that could have gotten him killed from Bedosian, and instead finds another one with Gesture in the back.
It's attempt to stick from Prophet, goes wide. Now Transcendence used by Bedosian. London Spitfire just trying to grind this one out and keep the payload moving. Bishu being very evasive, actually, flying out when he lost health. They're going to draw the Transcendence out from Shaz. In fact, both ultimates used by Gladiators on the support side. And that payload's not stopped, so Gladiators not really getting any big benefit out of the support ults.
No, and great primal from Gesture. Leaps in, gets the support ultimates. That's a fantastic trade for a Winston player, and even Gesture manages to get back to his supports alive.
Well, self-destruct from Bishu, not going to get back in the mech though. 1:30 on the clock now for London, but they've made some real progress, and they're going to keep doing it as they've taken out the tanks now. Uh-oh, Gladiators in trouble, man.
They've got the doors camped now. This is a great position.
Yeah,
Bedosian will take out Shaz as he tries to escape from his spawn.
London's nearly got it. They're so close. Gladiators need to hold right here if they want to win the series and avoid that tiebreaker. London Spitfire, though, getting the kills. Big Goose and Asher, the only ones on the point right now. All right, that's a stick onto Gesture. Gonna draw up the Transcendence to keep the Winston up. Fissure down, though. Hureg with another big pick. Finds Asher as well, and that should be about it, man. Trying to handle Bishu. How long can he delay on the Diva? There's still a minute left here.
And there's the Primal Rage once again for Gesture to push everybody away from the payload. London pulls it out and puts them within striking distance of a reverse sweep.
Now, we are going to Oasis after a short break to see who takes this series. And now the big question is, can London succeed on a map that hasn't been the greatest for them? They did win on it recently, so they've got a chance. It's going to be pretty exciting, guys. Do not miss it. When we come back, the final map between London and the LA Gladiators. We're going to Oasis right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
This is it, guys. Game number 5 between the LA Gladiators and the London Spitfire. We're going to Oasis, our tiebreaker map, and it really is kind of do or die for both of these teams.
Yeah, it is, especially when it comes to those stage playoff implications. Yeah. It means a lot for both of these teams. Neither of them has been mathematically eliminated just yet.
Not yet.
It's an open field.
But especially for the Spitfire, they're going to come close if they lose this one. Hydration in for sure for here as we move towards Oasis.
And this will signal a movement away from a possible McCree. It could mean that we're going to see Tracer Genji dive. Of course, the Junkrat with Hydration a possibility should we go to University. And London, despite their historical disadvantage on Oasis, they did prevent themselves from being reverse swept in their last match by winning 2-0 on this map Oasis. Maybe now, after all this practice, they will be a more consistent Oasis team. We'll have to wait and see.
Going to start things out on City Center between these teams. The door is about to open. The winner of Oasis wins the match. LA Gladiators versus London Spitfire. Surefour on the bench for this one. Hydration, Asher trying to keep it going on the DPS side. No subs from London. They haven't subbed anything in today. And it's time to start.
And there will be Hydration on the Sombra like we saw on Blizzard World. You may think Surefour is the more historic Sombra player on this Gladiators team, and you'd be right. but when Hydration also has the flexibility to the superior Genji, the superior Junkrat, take him out in these scenarios. Question will be if London, once they see the Tracer Sombra, is going to try and play the McCree or whether they'll mirror into it for the entire point.
One does wonder. The brawl begins. London jumps on the point early on. They want to try to get the control percent going first. They did win our other control map today. Getting the 2-1 victory on Ilios. Asher comes in. There's a dive. Going after Badoshin. Bishu in a lot of trouble, though. Gets demaxed. Now trouble for Gladiators. Comes in even more as they lose Shaz. And that's going to be a nice first fight for London. They are going to get some control percent.
They tried to push the Spitfire into a corner and dive on them over the wall, but through some miracle, Badoshin stays up. Protection from his tanks, healing from Closer. And Bishu, demaxed, hit by the Orb of Discord, focused down by London. And that starts the snowball, which kills both of the supports on the side of the Gladiators. However, Shaz did get enough healing down to already be close to that coalescence.
I do feel that, you know, we're starting to see a little bit of desperation from the Gladiators. I mean, Bishu going a little bit too ham on some of these pushes here, a little bit too aggressive. Here we go, Prophet coming in. He's got the Pulse Bomb, the Coalescence used on the side of Gladiators. That one got eaten up. Prophet not getting anything out of his ultimate there. Meanwhile, Gladiators trying to flip this one back. They've nearly got it. They've almost flipped it. They're so close. Gesture down via the Pulse Bomb. That's got to be at like 99.9% for Gladiators to grab the point here. But still, the percent building for Spitfire, and they're going to delay even more. Bishu out on the mech right now, firing away at the Mercy, trying to stay alive. He got hacked. Badoshin with the kill onto Bishu. Hydration turns it around. Can they claim the point, though? Finishing off the Mercy. A little bit more to do here. Prophet gets it with the Pulse Bomb. Now it's just Gesture rather, to remove. But he's gonna Primal Rage. What a delay for London. Look at where the control meter is. And they've already got 60% right now.
Fury back with a self-destruct too. How hard is London going to commit to this stall? They've used like 4 ults already. Not going to use the self-destruct.
This stall has been fantastic for London. They've got over 70% already. Doesn't matter if and when Gladiators take this one. You're gonna be happy with this as a Spitfire. Finally it flipped, but 76%.
That was a 30% stall. 30% stall from the London Spitfire. I was skeptical when Badoshin went in with the trance and Hurek followed up with the EMP, but they managed to make it work and they get close to one fight territory to finish this map at 76%.
I think you're pretty thrilled with that if you're Spitfire. Gladiators has a big defensive effort here if they want to even up this this particular point. EMP coming in, kill onto Badoshin easy. Oh, look out for the cars. Closer doesn't matter. He's dead before the cars even hit him, and that's a big fight for Gladiators to keep the defense going. They do lose Fissure though.
And Gladiators smart with those ults. Great engage from Hydration with the EMP. They use just the EMP there. They have to be economical with their remaining ults because they know the Spitfire after that stall are in a big hole.
I mean, that was just a dream scenario. Getting both supports there between the EMP and the traffic doesn't get much better for a Sombra. You're not going anywhere if you're the supports in that situation.
Oh, you are not.
And the Spitfire trying to contest again. Nearly 60% already. Coalescence coming in on the Gladiators side. Shaz using that Moira ultimate. Now London backed away. Asher needs to be careful. He's got that Pulse Bomb. He needs to stay alive to use it. Gesture a little bit low. Does he dare go in? No, not quite. Just still poking. There's the hack. Comes in onto Asher, but they don't catch the Lucio. Sound barrier for Big Goose to keep Gladiators in the fight despite the hack. Now the Transcendence for Badoshin. Closer uses the Valk too. Gladiators dedicating everything to try to grab this one back. Hurek and Fury down though, and it's over 80% for the Gladiators. They are starting to pull ahead here, despite it taking a long time, despite the hold from the Spitfire initially. Goodbye, Zenyatta. You're going into traffic. Or actually, no, you're making it out.
He escapes through the tunnel, actually.
Whoa.
And Jester's still on the point. He's actually getting a more percent building, but Hydration. EMP on the side.
That was close, man. They nearly snuck the point away from Gladiators, but weren't able to do it. 99% now. Hurek not going to last too much longer. Translocates out. They've got to deal with Fury. He's back in with the mech now. Going to use that self-destruct to get his mech back. Just a little bit more health on that one, but the DMAC comes in immediately. Over time, expiring quicker and quicker as the respawns drop. That's going to be it. So the Gladiators turn it around from being 76% down to grab point A, but you know what? We saw something very similar on Ilios.
Yeah, we did. And the big difference maker is the Big Goose. With that, avoiding the EMP into the sound barrier absolutely changed that push around for the London Spitfire. With the Gladiators, they weren't able to get them down, even though the tanks were hacked. So he bought his team enough time, and that makes the biggest difference at the end of that engagement.
The goose is loose indeed. That's right.
Cheering for the goose being loose.
Indeed. Who doesn't love it? Here we go. Gladiators. We're going to the Gardens. London Spitfire trying to tie this one up. Force a final round and a final tiebreaker map here. It's going to be the same comp for Gladiators and Spitfire as well. Going for the Sombra and the Tracer.
Has become a lot more popular
Nice
on
shots.
City Center and Garden. Shaz peeking, keeping them out. Early control over the point in favor of the Gladiators, though it hasn't unlocked yet. London slowly pushing their way in.
Yep. Sees a dive come in, go down to the high ground, and stays a little bit safer that way. Ooh, Asher not so safe though. Couldn't get the healing onto him. Can they get the res? They need to heal up Fissure. Ooh, that was a close one. No! It was a bit too close as Fissure goes down. London Spitfire grabbing control of the point early on with a big fight win. It's all clean up now.
Overcommitment from the Gladiators. They thought they had a good hack onto the Diva, but Fury makes it back to his team. They get a little ahead of themselves and focus down as they try to press the hack advantage. And now, London slow rolls onto the point. It's match point for the Gladiators. They win this point, they win the series.
Prophet found out there. Fury turned around and spotted him. Rather, it was Bishu, I suppose. 20% now for London. So Gladiators still has time to assault this one. A lot of ultimates for London. They're going to use the Valkyrie right now. A stick comes in. Fissure down. And Prophet making that pulse bomb work. There's a res onto Fissure, though, from Big Goose. Brings it in. Transcendence from Bedoshin. As they try to capitalize on Bishu being out of the mech, he's going to get back in safely. Hydration down. That was a big EMP on the side of Hureg, but he didn't live very long. Shaz turning it. And they've got a chance. It's a 3v3 on the point right now. Both the supports and the Divas left. And it's going to be Fury getting the DMAC first onto Bishu.
Both EMPs were symmetrical on that point. And yet London comes out in the end. The Diva 2 support battle from both teams ends in London's favor.
It was so close, man. I mean, when the DMAC came in onto Bishu, Fury was really, really low himself.
Now, Gladiators have to make a hard push in using the Valkyrie now. London can hold on for a while, though. The Primal and the Self-Destruct. It's going to be a long fight for Gladiators to try and retake control.
Yep. Here we go. Valkyrie, like you said, used early to come in. Oh, but they lose Shaz right away. Bedoshin falling on the other side. Both teams without their Zen, but now Closer goes down. Gladiators with a chance here to turn it around. No supports on the London side. Asher, oh, you don't see that very often. A melee kill from a Tracer onto a Winston, but it's just all part of the plan as the Gladiators flip it. 97% though for London, so you're not feeling too uncomfortable just yet.
Yeah, London stays cool, calm, and collected. Gesture got the kill onto the enemy support, but he didn't try and primal back. And now Big Goose is sniped. That is a disaster.
Man, what a pick for Bedoshin. London just gonna waltz onto the point now and say, hey man, you don't have any mercy. I think we'll take advantage of that. Using the Transcendence just to keep people safe. Closer the prime target now. Gladiators need to equalize on the support kills. Now, they can't quite get on him though. Trying. The self-destruct comes in. Fissure pops a Primal Rage and kills Bedoshin. So the Zen down, but Asher taken out. There goes Hureg, Bloodthirsty, getting, or Big Goose getting Bloodthirsty. That's the sentence I was trying to say. Meanwhile, the brawl continues. The res onto Hureg. London looking pretty good on this one. It's just about the delay now from Shaz on that Transcendence, trying to buy time for Asher and Hydration to get back. They need their DPS. Big Goose gets a big boop onto Fury though. But Shaz down. Gladiators though do manage to flip it.
They do manage to
hold it, rather.
They hold it and they back off. Hureg dies without using the EMP. The EMP is the tool they want in this next engagement because they know the Gladiators have nothing at all. EMP onto the tanks or onto the Zenyatta could be the end of this map.
I mean, that was already a pretty close call with that pick on the Big Goose.
We're gonna take a look at Hureg right now. Who is he going to find as he comes in? He finds a couple.
Oh, and that's enough. 2 kills already for London. They go 2 for 1, not bad. Now it's 3 for 1 as Fissure falls. The hack comes in onto Bishu, nearly got it. Doesn't really matter, they got the DMAC anyway. And that should be London flipping it back, and they've only got 3% to go. Gladiators need to scramble to stop this one. Somebody needs to touch the point. I don't know if they can. OT, I guess somebody got there. Hydration managed to delay a little bit. But they've got to get more people back on there. And the fight being taken to the Gladiators outside. They're forced to use the sound barrier away from the point on what remaining members they have. Big Goose down early, and now the delay comes in. Another Transcendence. Fissure has the Primal Rage in his own Transcendence to try to push forward here. London Spitfire, though, still controlling the point, but here come the respawns. Now the self-destruct comes in, gets dodged, and the kills for Gladiators, turning things around. They got the supports. Are you kidding me? Are they actually gonna flip it? They do, and they are near 90% themselves.
Fissure bought the time with the Primal Rage, and because Gesture died at the start of the fight, there's another chance here. Hureg so close to another EMP. Prophet is going to be on the flank to touch it, and Hureg will be there. Valkyrie up now for closer.
OT 99-99 as Gladiators trying to finish this one. Asher, oh, does he get the stick? No, not quite. The damage onto Gesture, not what they wanted. He still gets low anyway, and there's the finish from Asher. London scrambling here. They've got to turn this fight around. Asher in trouble. Gesture gets rezzed, but Big Goose with a kill onto Prophet. Big Goose himself will fall, so London has more people on the point right now, and they are winning this fight. Fissure with no support here, he's not going to last long, and the flip comes in again from London, and now nobody can get there. That is it. London ties up Oasis.
Keeping it in them at the end. The first 2 support kills, crucial. I like the fact that they switched over, the Gladiators switched over to the Moira, but caught out again by the EMP. Let me take a look at this here. Prophet at the end. Trying to hunt down these supports. There's a nice stick onto Shaz.
I was an adventurous support until I took a pulse bomb to the knee.
That's what happens.
Yep.
There's no more supporting after that.
Pretty much. Well, we are tied up going into University, and now the Hydration Junkrat will be revealed or released or unveiled or unleashed or whatever you want to call it.
And so will Prophet's Zarya. Hureg. Onto the Junkrat. Moira alongside the Lucio for closer. This is a down and dirty brawl on the point as we're going to see 2 Reinhardts.
Now, Lucio foreclosure makes it sound like he's losing his house. That's not happy at all. Here we go. Gladiators trying to push onto the point. London likes to get there first. Now Prophet getting forced away. They're after the Junkrat, after Hureg here. It's a lot of percentage for Prophet, man. He's already 90% charged up.
Great charge.
Oh, but then the hook comes in. He's down. And Gladiators are going to win this fight in a hurry. That is a lot of Zarya charge to lose. That one hurts.
That one definitely hurts, and especially Fissure, that he was isolating his enemy Reinhardt Gesture into the corner, set up the charge. Beautiful control of space by the Gladiators.
It's another opportunity for us to see Fissure's Reinhardt, which, if you've been watching Korean Overwatch, you know this guy is a master on that hero. Riptire coming in for Hureg, close her down, looking for more picks, but it gets roasted. Bishu gets the tire. And now Gladiators just trying to hold, trying to push back. Hydration gets Gesture with his own Riptire. That's a good one for the Gladiators as London forced back to spawn again.
Gladiators aggressively push. They have the Moira ult. Fissure's there with the Earth Shatter. They know they have it faster than Gesture. And so another attempt to hold there is successful for LA. Coming back in right now, Gesture's the one.
He needs a bigger shatter here. He needs to win the Reinhardt mind games. Going in, he wins it. That's a 1 Reinhardt mind game. The charge. Oh, he finds Asher at the end of it. But there's the Graviton Surge too. They tried to use the devault to combo with it. They got enough damage done. And that's going to be London flipping this point. 59% taken by the LA Gladiators.
Yeah, having that Zarya bubble enables you to walk up as the Reinhardt, get behind the enemy Reinhardt shield. And that makes a big difference in it turning around. Big Goose also had the sound barrier, but it didn't hit Asher, so the charge kills him.
Yep. You walk in there and you get him to start swinging, and that's when you bring in the Earth Shatter. Now Gladiators storming back in. Hureg can stop this push cold with a good Riptire. They're firing away at it, and it blows up in the air. No kills out of that one. Prophet charging in. Oh, he gets knocked down. That might as well be a kill. They're not going to have him for the fight. Gesture with the Earth Shatter doesn't get a whole lot. They knock down Asher, but the healing is there for him. And Gladiators back on the point right now. Prophet in trouble. He goes down, and here comes a Riptire for Hydration. That one got the DMAC onto Fury, which is pretty big. Fissure backs away. Fire Strike, they're going to get Gesture as well. And the delay from London enough to get them about 50%. But it looks like that's where it's going to stop. What a Fire Strike from Fissure to kill that Riptire too.
I really don't know if you want to use that Riptire there at the end of that fight. You were basically just stalling for time.
That was a bit optimistic, we'll say. And now the Gladiators have some really good ultimates available and some great ones coming up to hold this.
Indeed.
And this is the point you want to finish on if you're the Gladiators. This is where you're going to be your strongest with the players you put into this map.
I have to agree with you there, Doa. And we're back on board with Fissure now, looking for that Fire Strike. You can see London is trying to build up Prophet's charge before they go in.
The charge, he goes right through. Hurek down already. Fissure a bit on his own, but he finds the Earth Shatter anyway. Somehow knocked into the air. Reinhardt being juggled right now, but he doesn't get pinned. And that is the main thing. Another Fire Strike goes through. He's knocked down though again. You don't want your tank down there. They might as well be dead for the fight. Graviton Surge comes in for London. Gladiators scrambling to hold this one. 99%, they're winning the fight. They're gonna have this one. Fury comes in to delay for just a bit longer, but he's on his own. The Riptire's not gonna matter, and the LA Gladiators will defeat the Spitfire for the third time in Overwatch League.
That was a great match from the Gladiators. Started off strong and finish it with some big tank plays on University. Fissure once again beating his old team.
That's right. You can tell he's pumped about that, man. It went down to the wire, but in the end, you get the point you want. You get a chance for hydration to pull out that Junkrat. Fissure shows us all why he's considered one of the best Reinhardts out there as well, and that's going to be another win, of course. Still a lot of love between these teams, but today's going to be a win for the Gladiators. Let's send it over to the desk to see what they've got to say about those maps.
Thank you so much, Doa and Monty, and what a series we just had on our hands. 5 games, and we said it at the half joking. London's gonna force the reverse sweep. They don't get the reverse sweep. Today, the Gladiators walk away with the victory. That's now 2-0 for Fissure versus his old team. We gotta go to our player of the match. He's down on the floor right now with Zoe.
Thank you so much, Pocket. Yeah, please give it up for our player of the match from the Gladiators, Surefour. You popped off on that Widowmaker big times tonight. So, you know what? Let's make this interview educational. What are the keys to success when playing that hero?
I think the biggest key to success for Widowmaker, especially in the Overwatch League level, is teamwork. Because I think like 80% of like Widowmaker's strength is how your team works around you. And I think London got a lot better of like focusing me during Route 66. Like Gesture was always on top of me with his monkey ult, and it made it a lot harder. So it's all about how you limit what the Widowmaker can do. And if your team is giving you a lot of space to do something, then you're going to be a lot more effective. But if the enemy team is stopping you a lot, then you're going to be a lot less effective. So I would say it's all about teamwork pretty much. And then the other part is just hit your shots, lol.
I mean, if you have good aim, playing that Widowmaker definitely works out pretty well for you. Now, looking at your opponents, the London Spitfire, they used to have Fissure, not anymore. You guys picked him up. Did he actually manage to help you, give you some insider information about his former teammates?
Well, definitely in the first time we faced them, because he was always like, just focus Gesture, focus Gesture. If he jumps in, just kill Gesture. So it was a lot of stuff like that. And I think since he watched a lot of their scrims, he knows how to play. So we always have that kind of edge, and they don't really have that kind of insight on us.
All right, one last question. If, let's say at the beginning of stage 1, I would have told you that you guys are going to be the favorite coming into a game against the London Spitfire in just a few weeks from now, what would you have said?
Easy clap.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me down here on the floor. We're now heading over to Pocket and the boys to break down the action.
Thank you so much, Zoe. That is Surefour. Give it up for him one more time. He is our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Ridiculous stuff from the Widows. And let's take a look back at how we got to that Game 5, though, as we real quick look back to Ilios as well as Route 66. Now, as all Gladiators in the first half, as we went into Ilios, so you saw the Spitfire starting to show some life, but this was not an easy victory.
In Ruins, I think that we expected that the Widowmaker duo was going to go the Gladiators' way. However, the fact that the map came down to 99-99 was already a sign of what Surefour was talking about. They figured out we need to be pressuring him a lot more because this is not going our way. They did that and we're able to bounce back.
Yeah, and then we talk about Sureforce McCree, but even Hureg used to play a lot of McCree back in G7 before the London Spitfire. So I think overall the London Spitfire, they showed a bit better tank play and a bit better play around Hureg's McCree on the Ilios here. So they managed to get Ilios, of course. We move on to Route 66. And again, it's about the Widowmakers. But London Spitfire, they get away with it.
Hureg looking pretty decent early on. You saw the Gladiators on their push. They were stopped short of point C. Spitfire able to get the job done, and you look at Gesture really going to work here. We were looking forward to the main tank battle. Who had the bigger impact throughout this series for you?
I think it has to be Fisher, right? Because he's so aggressive, and it really helps in this Widowmaker meta when you want to shut down the enemy Widowmaker. Gesture is better this sort of passive style, but you don't really have a big impact on the rest of the team fights. You have a big impact when it comes to protecting your Widowmaker, and so you're indirectly contributing to your team's success. But Fisher is more of an initiative taker, and he likes to be aggressive and upfront. And we noticed that on Oasis with his Reinhardt, of course, and that's where it really mattered.
But I think that Fisher really came clutch when Gladiators started realizing that it wasn't just Profit really putting in work here, but it was Bedosin was doing so much on the Zenyatta that the strategy just came into we need to be diving Zen all the time. And even in Oasis, we saw them sub in hydration, and so he goes over to the Sombra, and a lot of the times you have the Sombra that can answer many other heroes, but I think that this was purely picked in order to go and just obliterate Bedosin and the support line because they were causing so much trouble for everybody else, not only in getting individual picks, but being able to put that Orb of Discord onto Fisher and nullify his ability to be aggressive.
Absolutely, and it suits Fisher's playstyle to play a bit more aggressive, so understand the Lucio coming out with the Moira, of course. We saw that the Gladiators even looked for the Zenyatta and the Mercy on the Garden stage, but then they swapped over because they realized it's too passive, it won't work. And then we see here, the Gladiators once again, I mean, they're just more dominant because they like to take initiative. Fisher likes to charge, and then we see the hook coming out of Asher. Sick fire strike. So I think overall, the Reinhardt and the triple tank comps, they suit the Gladiators better.
Okay.
And overall, they got away with the win. If the London Spitfire wanted to win Oasis, they should have done so on Garden and City Center.
I mean, London, you have to be happy you at least won Ilios, right? Control is your worst game mode.
Yeah.
You forced a game 5 in a very, very tight game 5 that went the distance. Now, Johnny, I want to look back at one specific play here in this game 5. You said, when it goes to Oasis, this used to be a Pharah map. Today, it's a Sombra map. How has the meta changed?
Well, it's changed because you can hack the Pharah, right? And then she drops through the sky, and not really effective. So we've seen more Sombra play on Oasis, and I'm going to give you the insights, powered by Insight, and explain why, what the different styles are. So, for the side of Gladiators, we're seeing this more Lucio and the Moira is more aggressive. They want to get it in the face. And for the Spitfire, we're seeing this Mercy and Zenyatta. So it's different styles. London, more passive. Gladiators, more aggressive. So how does this play out? Well, we're just going to see the Gladiators just make a B-run right for the backline of the London Spitfire and try to get picks, essentially, with their composition. They want to use Moira's heals to utilize it to keep your tanks alive before she really runs out of gas, runs out of juice, right? Before you can't heal as much anymore. So they just go for this dive, and they try to bring down Bedosin.
That's chaos.
And they get him down, right? But then you have Closer on the Valkyrie, and because the Valkyrie is so good at keeping your team alive, London Spitfire, they actually get away with this fight pretty much like they want to. They keep themselves alive, and now they're going to re-engage from different angles. We have Gesture and Prophet here hitting up the backline, and Closer and Fury and the rest will engage onto the Gladiators. But now Hydration has this EMP, and this is what makes the big difference in this fight specifically. So he's going to pull it off, and we can see that he hacks pretty much all of the London Spitfire. And from this, they actually get away with the fight. London staggers a bit. But I just wanted to showcase the two different styles. And you can actually play a Sombra, and you can play aggressive, or you can play defensive and hack the enemy tanks. So basically, play what you like, right? Fisher, more aggressive tank. He prefers diving deep. Gesture, more passive. So if you're like me and you want to dive deep, create space, suicide like a Winston, play the Lucio Moira.
That's right, and make sure, guys, if you're in Platinum and I'm playing later tonight trying to grind,
get out of queue,
listen
save
to your
yourself.
tanks. If you're supports, play with the squad around the composition.
I support that statement.
Thank you very much,
help
Johnny.
the tanks.
I need so much help tonight, guys. Seriously, there's just one more day.
I think Sideshow's helping people out. He should help you.
This is just a small sample, I have a feeling, guys. We went to Game 5 for the first match of the day. We're set up for 2 more good ones. When we return, it's San Francisco who beat Philly last week. This week, they're going up against the NYXL. We'll be right back.